Agatha, and Donovan.
You are now listening to The Bunt, the number one podcast in skateboarding, brought to you by the number one shoe in skateboarding, Vans. Off the wall since 1960, motherfucking 6. I'm D Jones. I got my main man, the Ghost, with me. We've got Richie Valdez and Ants One behind the scenes, chopping, screwing this episode up. Ghost, man, it feels like yesterday we just started this thing, and here we are, week 4. How's this happen, dude? And like, where's the time go?
I don't know, man. It does feel like the season just started and we're a third of the way through. It's kind of crazy, but we out here, man. Still running and still gunning.
All right, here we are. Who we got in the building, and what's on the schedule for this week's ep?
Yo, massive triple OG legend episode. Our favorite kind to bring you. It's Jeremy Wray in the building, the front three god, you know what I'm saying? Pioneer in the game, took jumping to new heights when we were still in diapers, you dig? And yeah, just a certified boss. I might have to try and learn how to front three, or at least do a shitty one on a hip at some point this week in honor of J. Ray. And then we take y'all straight to the post office, you know what I'm saying? Real nice emails this week as per usual. Don't forget to barge our email. And then rundown, man. Football starting to heat up. Week 3 in the books. Love it, man.
Yes, sir. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at The Bunt Live. Subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/@thebunt. Hit us up on our Patreon, patreon.com/The Bunt. And then head over to thebuntlive.com. We cannot thank the Bunt Gang enough. Our very first shoe collab, Vans, Curran, the Bunt, sold out in just over a day. Means the world to us. Thank you, everyone who purchased the shoe. Hopefully, you guys love them as much as we do. A little basketball inspiration, and then being able to do this with Curran's first pro shoe is full circle moment for the Bunt. So just thank you, everyone, for going on the website and buying those.
Hell yeah. And shout out Vans and Kern again. That was a dream come true. Feel like it was a long time in the making, or not a long time in the making, but in our heads, we definitely wanted to have a shoe for a long time is what I meant to say. So hyped that finally happened, and thanks for the support.
And then there's still a couple things available on our website. We got t-shirts, hats, shorts. We got this beautiful Yeti bottle. Get over there and purchase yourself one. Ghost, real busy week in my personal life. Didn't watch any football except for Kansas City and the New York Giants, which was one of the worst football games I've seen in quite a while. So I definitely did not watch any skating. So please help me out with the Ghost shout out of the week.
You already know what time it is. It's shout out of the week, brought to you by The Den, the home of a constantly growing library of your favorite skate videos. Maybe you're in the mood for that golden era vid you discovered through your local back in the day, or that underappreciated gem in the weekend back catalog, or maybe another replay of that new passport edit that just hit the screens. Whatever it is, The Den's got it. Build your own personal library with the favorites feature, or let The Den do the work for you and explore playlists curated by people like us at The Bunt. Find all the hits in The Den. Download today for free on iPhone, Android, the web, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire TV. All right, this week, you know what I'm saying, had to appease our boy Davis and give shout out. I'm just kidding. It was a great video, and I would be honored to shout it out.
That's an awful start.
You know what I'm saying? A6, a guided tour. You know what I'm saying? That whole squad killed it. Jacko O'Chanan, one of the most skilled people in the game. You know what I'm saying? One of P-Rod's favorites. Held it down with opening part. I know y'all saw that back 3 kickflip to nose Manny Revert on Instagram. And then Victor Campillo went ham with the ender, the back nose grind front shove to Manny on the courthouse. You know, that's Josh Clark shit right there, but that was a great NBD. Fun video start to finish. But D Jones, there was one thing missing in that video. You know what I'm saying? And I just think it could have used a JP Souza clip or 2 or 5 or a full part. You know what I'm saying?
Why wasn't he in there? And he showed me a line that he got for those A6 guys, man. And like that should have been in there, dude. But that's all right. People gonna get some JP Souza footy real soon, man. One of our favorites. I watched it twice. Excuse my ignorance. Was Gino in there?
I don't remember. I gotta watch it again.
I think I would have remembered if Gino was in there. It's a question, dude. You got the shoe. How ain't he in the vid? You know what I mean? But shout out Xander Mitchell. He was in the vid. He up to his regular Canada shit.
Back nose grind, the whole shit at Barry. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we noticed that shit. And could have used the Davis clip too. Could have used the Davis clip.
Yo, but, I feel like we're roasting too hard now, but yeah, Davis, you know what it is. We need some JP, we need some Gino, and we need some Davis in the next one.
We critique because we care. You know, if we didn't care, we would have just let it go. So, great video. Like I said, watched it twice, which is rare for me. And then, shout out Ben St. Aubin. Dropped a part for Blue Tile Lounge here in Toronto. Ben, the son of one of my great friends, play hockey with his dad on a weekly basis. Crazy to just see how good he is, man. And then the power. One of those guys, like you just said, in person, very, very impressive. You just want to sit back and watch.
There's one thing missing in that part, too. And that was a clip from Pops. You know what I'm saying? Ian, what's up, baby? We need you back in them streets. I seen you at the skate park. I'd love to see it. Shout out your whole fam. Killing it.
All right. That's it for the shout outs. You got 2 this week. A6 guided tour, Ben St. Aubin for Blue Tile Lounge. Ghost, only one thing left to do before we get into this interview. What are we missing? What did we forget?
If you're trying to get a buzz or just have your taste buds feel a nice thrill, you know what I'm saying? You got to hit a bar in Toronto that carries Beamer. I know I claimed in week 1 that I was trying to chill on drinking, but that starts now for a month until we go to Cincy. But you can find Joel Scullard anywhere in the East End sipping a Beamer. So if you want to get down with our boy, just pull up to fucking Far Side, you know what I'm saying? Allen's. You know what I'm saying? The Comrade, Ricky and Olivia, Conchi, Bizou, shit. The list goes on. But yeah, we out here. Beamer, get yourself one.
Cincinnati's like roughly 3 weeks away, so you don't even have to go a whole month. And looks like right now you're on vacation. There's no drinking on vacation?
No, I'm driving home today, man. I had my last beer last night.
All right,
for the
y'all.
next 3.5 weeks.
We got a legend in the building. Let's get into the interview. Jeremy Wray. Let's go. All right, let's get this thing started. We've got the legend in the building, Mr. Jeremy Wray. What's happening, man?
Not a whole lot. Just chilling at the house with my dogs. My actual dogs.
But right now you're chilling with your new dogs, man, me and Safa. So I appreciate you taking the time. We start every show off the same. You got to hit us with your favorite skate moment and your favorite sports moment.
Ooh, okay.
Not an easy one to start, but
yeah, I know. Let's start with the sports moment. I'm not a huge sports fan outside of skateboarding, but I do remember being at a pizza place with the family, and it was the Laker playoffs, and it didn't seem like a lot of people in the place were paying attention to the screen, and we were losing the game. It was like, 0.4 seconds left. Pretty much we're done. And then they pass it into Ori, and he does that light touch and gets it in there and makes it.
Derek Fisher.
Derek Fisher. That was Derek Fisher on that one?
Yeah.
I remember it being Ori, but man, I just remember that shot going in, and oh my gosh, 0.4 seconds. And it was like the whole place lit up. And it was funny because it it didn't seem like too many people were really even watching. Everyone's just there with their families having pizza, kind of keeping one eye to the screen. But when it hit, when that shot dropped, everyone just lit up. So that was good.
That's so sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the Robert Horry one is somewhat similar as when they're playing Sacramento and it got tipped out for a 3 at the buzzer.
Yeah.
But Derek Fisher was Tim Duncan hit a shot with like a second, or like he hit a crazy last second shot, and then Derek Fisher answered it and just ran straight to the locker room.
Nice. There's been some good ones over the years, you know? Yeah, around here we're Laker fans and Raider fans and Dodger fans. I'm closer to the Angel Stadium now, but I grew up in Glendale, so we were closer to the Dodgers. And whenever we went to a game with, my grandfather or something, it'd always be a Dodger game.
That's sick.
The Dodgers are great now, man.
Yeah, they've been doing good. Yeah, we don't follow it as much. We used to have a roommate that would just have sports on nonstop, and he followed all sports. So we'd be watching everything. And, we'd come in, it'd already be on. He'd just be explaining why this is important, why this game matters, who this guy is, and all that stuff. Because we didn't grow up around sports, It was always just skateboarding in the house.
There you go, man. So now it's time. Hit us with your favorite skate moment.
That's a tougher one because there's been lots. I mean, I don't know. I could do one that probably hits home to me is maybe Kien Liu, the donger, doing his frontside 360 ollie on flat ground. Because that really opened the doors to what that trick was like capable of and how to do it proper. Because I don't know if you guys are familiar with that clip, but it's in an old H Street video. And he's just rolling on flat ground and he pops it up, spins it around, dips the nose, and ends up going straight, all fours, no bark, no slide, no pivot, no tic-tac, and maintain the same speed. And it was like, oh, that's how you do that one. And no one else could do it like that. So I'm like, I want to learn that. So that's probably my most important moment was seeing that.
Wow, because you perfected that one for sure.
Well, I learned it from him, but I originally learned it from Ron Chapman doing it in the World Industries video. He would do it nose grab. So you keep the nose up and you just hold on to it as you spin around. And I think Sal Barbier used to do him like that too. So there's the World Industries video with Ron Chapman doing it at the Huntington High School stage, nose grab. And I learned him first like that and then saw dongers and just had to stop grabbing the nose and learn how to dip it instead. And it just changes the way the whole trick moves.
Not sure if you're familiar with Will Marshall, a legendary Canadian skater, but he told me a year or two ago that one of the most illegal tricks is frontside 360 with a tic-tac. Like you just got to redo it.
When you land 270 and you turn the rest,
that's a problem you've never really had.
But I think most people just get that far and right away, and they're just happy they made it,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because it's one of those ones you get it around and you're rolling away. You feel like you did it, but it is a lot nicer to land in all four at the same time and just roll straight.
Yeah. Rare, hard.
It's a difference of a tiny little rotation, but it makes all the difference in the world if you land straight.
Yeah, I wish I knew what that felt like.
Yeah, it's teachable.
Take us back to the beginning. Where'd you grow up and how'd you get into skating?
Born in Carmel, California, but had a dad in the military, so we moved every 2 years or so. So we made our way across from California to Indianapolis, and then Florida and North Carolina, and then came back to California after that. So when I got back to California, we lived in Glendale, and I was probably 7 years old, and then got my first skateboard right around 7, and I got my own on my 8th birthday. So we were sharing a board before that between me and my two brothers. So I had an older brother and a younger brother. Yeah, so we would all just share my older brother's board. And then my younger brother Jonas got his board, and my birthday was coming up. So I just waited for my birthday, and that's the one thing I wanted. So I got a skateboard for my birthday on my 8th birthday.
Sick.
That's epic.
Yeah. So that's when it officially starts, when I had my own board.
Yeah, that'll change things.
Then.
What was it like sharing it with your brothers, man? Does the older brother always get first dibs?
Well, we lived in Glendale, and it was kind of like a hilly area. So we would just walk up together to the top of the hill and then just stand up there. One would bomb the hill and then walk back up. The next person would take a turn, bomb the hill, come back up. And we just, would all just bomb the hill and come back up. And then once we all got boards and we could bomb it together, then we'd actually go places. It was a whole different ball game, Then you could actually just travel out and learn.
Yeah, you never had to come back.
I don't know. We used it as transportation in the early days, but we went far.
That's wicked.
Yeah.
So fast forward a little bit. What would you consider was your first big break in the skate industry?
The first big break, probably going to skate camp, like Visalia skate camp. And I remember Shrugi came through, and he was the team manager of Thunder and Spitfire at the time. And he was watching and skating with all the skaters and stuff, but they had a street contest. And my brother Jonas and I were in the same division because he was only 1 year younger than me. So he ended up getting first place, and I got second place because I fell off one of my tricks. And he went flawless through the whole thing. So, and he had that good little kid style, and he was just consistent. So, yeah, he got hooked up with Thunder and Spitfire through skate camp. And then they asked me to send in a sponsor me tape. So I did. And then I ended up getting on too.
Dude, that's an epic little 2-piece to start the sponsor days, man.
Yeah, it was a good way to get introduced to it, and just meeting the guys, skating with the team, and then sending in a video and having them just send back product and hook us up. Mm-hmm. And they would just send us both like the same box, so we would just share the box. We'd open up the box and like pick in order. Like, all right, you go first. And then I go next, because they'd send stuff, only one thing of like a shirt or a jacket, and you don't know which one you're going to get. So first start with wheels, then the shirt or the stickers, and just go one for one. Sometimes you get stoked, sometimes you get bummed, but we all got something.
What was it that you fell on in the contest, man? Do you remember?
Ooh, it was probably just like a big kickflip, because I would do kickflips over the hip, going super fast and try to pop it really high. And if you don't flip it just right, like I didn't do the little one that you can always land, it was like an all or nothing. Like it's going to max out and catch it at the peak. Yeah. And if you don't do it quite right, catches primo or something, you don't really have a way out. So that was probably one of those. That's my best guess. Yeah.
That's respect, man. All or nothing.
Yeah, I don't know. Kickflips are unpredictable for me, really, because like you'd get them consistent, but like we never really skated wooden ramps very often. So they give you a different pop every time if it's a little bouncy. Whereas like cement, you can get more consistent.
And you had one of those crazy kickflip setups in a heel flip position, man.
Yeah, I kind of figured that one out in our driveway in La Habra. We would skate over a bench in the driveway. And just to get it up and over, I learned how to do everything from ollie position first. So I would just ollie and then do the trick late. So I learned kickflip, heel flip, all that stuff just from ollie position. So, and then had to learn 360 flips the same way, just from ollie. And then you don't really have to set up as much. You just kind of cruise in the middle and you're ready for anything.
That's that explains it. That makes sense, awesome. But that's tough. Like I can never do like a tray flip from that position. Like it just doesn't make sense. But you pop them straight up over tables and stuff, so it works for you.
Yeah, it took a while to figure it out, but once you got it, it's really like just a minor foot change, and then you got everything from pretty much that same general location.
That's sick. So most people that are familiar with your career probably identify it with Plan B and Element being like the main two board brands you rode for. But you actually rode for Black Label for about 5 to 10 minutes. Do you want to tell us the story behind that? I can tell you the story of that.
We had just finished with skate camp, and from that got asked to make sponsor me tapes. So we sent out some sponsor me tapes, and hadn't heard responses back yet, but there was an ASR trade show going on in San Diego. So I went down there and brought my tape with me and just kind of shopped it around. And one of the booths we went to was Black Label. So they had a VCR there. We put it in and played the tape for John Lucero and Jeff Grosso. And they looked at it and they're like, all right, well, we'd like to get you started. Let's get you on some boards and just see how it goes. Kind of get your foot in the door and take it slow. So they gave me, I think, 3 decks that day. And I was walking around the trade show with those 3 decks and then ran into the Blockhead guys who I had sent a sponsor me tape to as well. So, and they came up like, oh no, he's got Black Label boards already. What are we going to do? So they just talked to me and they're like, hey, we really want you to be a part of the team. And we're filming for a video right now. And if you want to, you can be on the team and be in the video, have a part, and we'll get started right away. And it was Laban and Dave talking to me the most. And Dave Berchthold's the owner, and Laban was one of their top pros at the time. And I just had found out that Rick Howard had left. So they were kind of building what was going to be the new team too. So it was a good time to be starting out over there. And we really did just hop right into it and film. We filmed for like 2 weeks straight, and the video came out probably a month later. So, and we filmed down there in San Diego by their area, and then they came up to us for like a weekend, and I think that was it. But we got the whole part in there.
So
that's awesome. What did you do with the Black Label boards? Yeah.
I brought them back to the Black Label booth right away, and I just handed them back. I'm like, look, they were like, why did you bring them back? You know? And I'm like, well, I'm not going to be needing them, and I don't want to take something from you guys. Here, like, you can have them back.
That's
Maybe
awesome,
you'll use them
man.
for something else. Yeah, and they were just blown away. They're like, why? Like, you could have definitely just walked away and had them, and it's no big deal. I'm like, no, I want to give them back, and I'll have boards to ride. I'll be good, and I'll be riding blockhead boards anyway. So yeah, and it all worked out. They were super cool about it. Yeah, but they were kind of laughing at me, like, giving them back and also riding for blockhead. They're like, really? You want to do that? Like, yeah, those guys are cool. And we had a great time. That was a really solid team at the time. Like, we had a lot of fun filming for the videos, and we all just stayed and hung together and filmed together. You could tell, like, from our parts that we were all skating the same spots at the same time. Like, you'd see the other people in the background skating by and stuff. Yeah. It was just, that was like a real team feel with those guys. It was cool.
All you had to do was make the blockhead guys a little bit jealous, and then they gave you the deal you were looking for.
No, I think they had gone down there trying to find me, because I don't think we had a great way to get a hold of each other. Before cell phones and stuff, you kind of had to just run into someone in person. So I think they went down there hoping I would be there and talk to me there, you know?
That's crazy.
So I just had happened to go to Black Label first and go shopping around over there first. Yeah. But it's funny because years later, not that many years later, maybe even just a year later, my brother Jonas ended up riding for Black Label.
Oh.
And I got on Blockhead also because Jason Dill was already there. And we had been skating with Jason a lot down in Huntington Beach. So knowing someone on the team and be able to skate and film with him was great. But Jason bounced over to Black Label, and my brother got on Black Label too within that first year. So that was pretty crazy. A weird turn of events, because I could have been there first, you know?
Another fun fact, you later turned pro for Blockhead. However, the graphic was not something you were really looking for. So you weren't exactly in a rush to show your parents. What's the story there? Yeah,
that one, actually, I've seen both versions, because there was an early version with, had Laban's name and Dan Rogers. But Dan Rogers left right when that board was made. So they switched it, and it was like a love for sale board. And it was like, kind of like wanted ads from the newspaper or something. And it said love for sale. And originally it said Daniela and Labanessa. And then they switched his name out and put Jeremina and Labanessa without telling me. And then I just get these boards shipped to my house, and I open up the box and I'm looking at it like, what is this? You know, not even a phone call, not a heads up, nothing. And it just showed up. And I didn't even end up saving one of those boards, which I definitely should have. But I just gave them to friends or something, and they all skated them. It was a good shape and everything. I was just, nope, that's not my first board. So
yeah, no, that's a wild one.
That's a crazy surprise.
My first board, I got to do the artwork for it too. So that's what I really wanted, was to draw my own graphics and stuff.
Yeah.
So they let me do it on my first real board. And that was an actual pro model. The other one was just like something they did for fun. It was more of a team board anyway, you know?
Okay,
it was like a Blockhead team board that just happened to have our names in it as part of the ad, you know?
Ah, okay.
How old were you when that board would have come out?
I was probably 17.
Yeah, that's still an awkward age to show your parents a board with some girls on it.
Yeah. Well, they were doing a lot of funny stuff around that time. Like Blockhead had the G-Spot wheels, and we were all wearing these shirts that said G-Spot, and like not knowing what a G-Spot was at that age. It was kind of funky, you know? You'd be wearing it at school, and like you'd have people asking, do you know what that is? You know? Like, I think so. Yeah. You know? Yeah. So then even like the video they did after that was Debbie Does Blockhead, which is like based on porn movies and stuff. So that was a funny one. Yeah. There was a lot of funkiness going on around Blockhead those days, but it was all for fun. Yeah. And some of the stuff is hilarious from that video. Like even they had like the Barbie doll porno that was after the credits and all that stuff. There's like a secret part. And it's just two Barbies and they're bumping them and making all the noises and stuff. I think it was Dave Meddy making all that stuff. But if you haven't seen it, definitely go check it out. It's hilarious, but it'll freak your parents out if you're a little guy.
Yeah, I got to check that. Yeah, so eventually parted ways with Blockhead. I think maybe you rode for Color after, but eventually, as we all know, you got on Plan B. What was going on behind the scenes there for those changes?
Yeah, with Blockhead, I didn't plan on leaving Blockhead, but then I got a call from Chris Markovich, who was one of my favorite skaters at the time, and he was starting something new, and they just wanted to make something that was kind of equivalent to a World Industries level team. And Rich Mediver, who was the other owner at the time, was really gung-ho about making a good board brand, because he had Union Wheels under his belt and they were doing good with that. So, but they didn't have a solid board brand in house. So that was going to fill that gap for him. And at first everything went well. Like, I mean, it was one of those things, you get that phone call. I don't think I could turn it down. You know, it was like, I didn't see it coming, but when I got the call, I'm like, that actually sounds really cool. And we could do it from scratch our way and get a fresh, clean slate to do whatever we want with it. And they were going to let me do my own graphics and all that. So, and they were talking about, you know, traveling and hitting all the contests in Europe, all that kind of stuff that we never really got to do. So, yeah, it was just, it was cool. And then that all ended up just dissolving about maybe 8 months into it. There were just production issues, like all the promises of like quality product. And I think it came down to, even when we made our video, it came out on VHS and they had like cheaped out on the quality of the VHS tapes. So they all ended up like just being skippy and glitchy, and all of them were like that, you know, and the master wasn't like that. It was just the quality of the tapes was really bad. And they all just had those glitches and there was nothing we could do about it. And I'm not sure how or why that they had like slightly cheaper tapes, but I guess they did. So after that all went down, some of the guys just got, you know, pissed off about how it was going and they just wanted to do something better somewhere else. And the whole thing just kind of disbanded. So while it was kind of every man for themselves, everyone was looking for something else. That's when I ended up talking to, I guess, just straight to Mike Ternansky at Plan B. And what I didn't know is that the other guys had just left there too. As I was trying to get on, this was after virtual reality and stuff. And I guess, you know, almost half the team had left, but no one knew yet. It was right before that contest in San Francisco where they showed up wearing their girl shirts and everyone had made the switch. Yeah, it was right in that little gap. So like, as I'm meeting with Mike Ternansky, he's letting me know, well, just, you know, to be honest, this is what's happening right now. And no one really knows about it. But yeah, Mike Carroll, Rick Howard, Sean Sheffy, and I don't know who else. Maybe someone else was leaving with them too. But yeah, it was a whole crew leaving. So.
Damn. Reinforcements on the way.
Yeah. So like I was part of the rebuild on that one too. And then it was me and Ronnie Bertino got on. He got on shortly after I did, but we were advertised as the new riders in the same ad together in a 411 or something. But I knew Ronnie Bertino from the Hot Skates days. There was a skate shop by us called Hot Skates. And we had both ridden for them together. So I had met him going up to like Powell Skate Zone contests when we were kids, probably even like, 15, 16, something like that.
Nice. How old were you around when you're getting on Plan B?
That would have been still like 17 or 18, maybe just turning 18 then. Well, yeah, it'd be 18. Later part of 18 then. If not, going on 19. But it's right in that range, yeah. Because I got on in 94. Probably like the tail end of 93 or 94 was when I got on Plan B. Because I remember the first boards would have the year on them, and the ones I was doing said 94.
Nice, wicked.
Plan B always put the year on the boards?
On some of the top graphics, we were putting the year. So I was doing the artwork for some of those, and I put the year on those ones. Mm-hmm. But Powell always used to have the year and the copyright, like somewhere small on the graphics. You knew what year it came out. Yeah, it helps to know, because otherwise you might not know what year it was.
Yeah. Looking back, it would make it easier. Yeah.
Yeah. Or you might be a kid buying a dry ass wood board.
Don't they get better
It's
with age?
Expired? No, I don't think so. I mean,
they get worse.
I would assume.
I don't know. Those old prime boards lasted fine. You know, you could probably set one up right now and be great.
Your secondhand smoke part, instant classic. We weren't skating yet, but looking back at that era, from what we can tell, it looked like Pat Duffy was out there redefining what was possible and handrails, and you were doing the same, jumping downstairs in gaps. How fun was it putting that part together? And were you at the like peak of your skate powers for that part, you think?
Yeah, that was coming off the color video, and being the new guy on Plan B, I wanted to make sure I came correct. And I had grown up on, you know, the questionable video and virtual reality. By the time virtual came out, I was able to go to the premiere and stuff. So I was kind of involved in the industry and being around what was really happening while it was happening. So that was pretty cool to be there at the theater, seeing that for the first time. And then being able to film for the next video after that was a big honor, but also a big responsibility. You want to make sure that you're doing something that's on par with those kind of parts. So I just got straight to work with, you know, Ternansky and Dave Schlossbach and just started filming. But it wasn't too long into the filming that Mike Ternansky actually passed away because he got in that car accident when he was leaving his house in the morning to go to work. And I was at his house when it happened. Damn. So it was a gnarly thing to be that close to. And he had a kid on the way, and you know, his wife was out that morning doing her stuff, and I was just there at the house. And when it happened, it was Dave Andrick that came in and let me know, and he was looking for Mary to tell her. So he's like, if you see Mary before I do, you got to give her the news. I was like, ooh, that's some heavy news. I don't know if I can handle that. So, and I was going to be driving home that morning because he lived down in San Diego and I lived up in the top of Orange County in La Habra at the time. So I just ended up getting my stuff together. I didn't see Mary before I left, and just headed back home. But by the time I got home, my mom and my brother Jonas already knew about the accident. And at the time, my whereabouts were still unknown because I hadn't checked in. I didn't think anybody would know, or that the news would travel that fast yet. So they were really worried that I was in the car, which I could have easily been in the car, you know, and I would have if I had wanted to go to work with them, which I usually did in the morning. I'd just go to the office with them. But this time we were coming back from a Vancouver contest, that Slam City Jam. And, you know, we had, you know, been up late that night. We had just flown in the night before, and I was planning on going home that day anyway. So I think I just, you know, was going to skip the day at the office and just go home.
Wow.
But yeah, gnarly time.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's brutal.
Yeah.
So in that part, whose idea was it for you to have frontside flip Carlsbad in the opening line, and then again as an ender? That's a pretty iconic editing choice right there.
Yeah, I think that probably came from Jake Rosenberg because he had already edited Ronnie Bertino's part. And in his part, he begins the part with riding away and stopping after doing the switchback lip. And then it cuts back around to the end of his part and he does a switchback lip. So it comes full circle in that one. And I don't know if there were any other parts in that video that did that, but I think it became kind of a theme and he thought it would be a good way to do it. And since we had the two angles, it ended up working out. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that was his idea.
So sick.
What did you think about it though? Did you like it?
Yeah, I was down for that. I was actually in the editing bay on the controls for a lot of that one because he was showing me how to do it. We were doing like transfer tapes from 3/4, and he showed me how to work the controls, and I was just dropping in the tricks one thing at a time. We laid the music track down first, and then we'd lay the clip in, and then you'd have to adjust it a little bit to where you got it to where you wanted. And then when you hit like save, that was basically locking it in stone. So you could redo that one clip over and over until you got it just right. Like if you wanted to land on a beat or something like that, you could do it. But as soon as you press save, that's the end of that. And then you had to leave a little space on the end because when you lay the next trick in, it would suck frames a little bit. So you would lose the tail end of whatever you did. So you had to leave it a little long on the end just so you could edit back into it for the next trick. But yeah, we were laying in one trick at a time to the beat, watching it through, and then just going through all the tricks.
That's
so
crazy.
You kind of had to know what you were laying in next and get the order in and know the beat of the song. So it all worked out. It was a super fun project, and we learned a lot. It was me and Jake Rosenberg and Paul Luna there in the studio, just doing it together.
The OG Plan B squad, obviously legendary as it gets. Made a lot of the best videos of that era. How did you feel about it coming to an end?
We had actually tried to keep it going. Like, it was Danny and Colin had bought the rights to the name and just tried to keep it going. And I think we were able to keep it till about 98. I think it was at the end of 97 that it was one of those things, like, there was a lot of demand for the product, but it was hard to get all the stuff made to fill the demand. You know, you needed a lot of like upfront capital to make the stuff. And they were selling everything they were making, but not able to make enough to produce it. And we had already pulled out of World Industries. And when it pulled out of World, they were responsible for getting all these boards made, getting all the shirts made and everything else. So, and handling distribution and everything. So it's really hard to do that all on your own and be skateboarding. So Danny and Colin were taking on the bulk of that work and trying to still skate professionally. And it's one of those things that I think it's just a lot to handle for two pro skateboarders in their teens, you know?
That's crazy.
Damn. Wow, that's a bummer. What did you feel, or like when they rebooted it, I forget exactly what year, was there ever discussions of getting back on? And what'd you think of Plan B 2.0 at the time?
I didn't get any heads up that it was coming back, but I was stoked to see it come back. And I remember PJ Ladd was actually one of the original guys that got picked up for Plan B, and we had been teammates on Element just before that. So I remember he gave me a random call one day before Plan B had started back up, because we had been skating together off and on every now and then. He lived out in LA, and we'd link up and just skate street spots and stuff. But I remember he called me out of the blue, and he might have been trying to tell me about it, but he never really got to the point and never got to it. So I figured, oh, all right, well, I'll see you next time we skate and figure out what it was all about. And maybe he was nervous to say something, or maybe, you know, maybe he wasn't supposed to tell me. I have no idea. But it was shortly after that they actually rebooted it, and he was part of the squad. So, but he was amazing. So he deserved to be on there. And yeah, that would have been sick to just join the squad back then, right when it started back up. But I think they were kind of looking just more towards the future at that point too. Because like Plan B was built on just, you know, raw talent and super talented young skaters and making their careers and names with the brand, you know? So I think they weren't trying to reach too far back into their legacy at that point and put on older riders, you know?
Yeah. Is it Duffy wasn't on, was he?
He wasn't originally.
Yeah. I'm not sure how he got linked back up either, but he probably just called him and said, hey, I'm not riding for these guys right now, and I got an open spot. So, you know, and they took him back in. And then Sheffy's back on there too. So, you know, they got a few of the original dudes. So that's cool. And I wasn't an original. So, you know, I was part of the reboot, and, you know, I made my name and made my mark with the brand, and still one of my favorite companies. So, you know, I got a lot of love and respect for Plan B and what they did for skateboarding, not only just for me and my career, but also just like skateboarding in general. All the stuff even before I rode for them was amazing. So
I was part of the original Canadian legendary Flow Plan B team. I'm not sure if you're aware of that, but
you got Flow from them?
I'm not sure all of that goes before the flow part, but yeah.
Right. No, that's awesome. I remember we would go to these Europe contests, and when you'd go to these Europe contests, there would be people that rode for the brands that were American brands, but they were sponsored through the distribution. So it was always funny to see people that like rode for the same brand as you in the contest that you're skating in as a pro, but it's someone you've never met or heard of. And it was just crazy. A European skater. So it was, for all the American pros, we would joke about who was getting like the better or the worst end of this deal. Because some of the guys like would get the worst dude, like in the contest rode for their brand, and it just didn't look good, you know? So
and they had no choice. They didn't even know.
Yeah.
You're always stoked if you got a good one, because you never knew what you're going to get. And Plan B, I think, always did okay.
If you had Arto Sari or something, you're like, let's fucking go. but
Right.
there's only
Arto
so
was
many
in some of those
Artos.
early contests before he rode for Flip too. I think he did ride for one of the brands back
That's
then.
awesome.
Before Flip really got going. But Arto was a standout early on.
For sure.
Yeah, he was a ripper.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we got a first look at Arto and Tom Penny before they came out. And I don't remember seeing Jeff as much in the original contest, like even like back in 93, like Munster and stuff like that. 'Cause that was pretty early on. But in those later ones, I remember seeing Tom for the first time, like I think 2 years in a row, and Arto as well.
Sick.
Tom was crazy too. Like he was one of the first guys that people would be like, oh, he's like a video game skater because everything he did was perfect, and he would just land and like no emotion or anything. It was just all like, wow, like it's like someone just pressing buttons. It's amazing.
Crazy.
Because he was just that consistent. Everything he did was perfect. It was rad. Yeah. And it was a standout style at the time because no one really skated like that. You know? Just everything on point and like zero celebration after, you know? We're coming out of like, I don't know if you guys ever watched those old H Street videos, but whenever anyone landed anything, it was like arms straight up in the air, you know, looking around.
God. It's like the contest today.
Right. Exactly. It was like that, even in skate videos. And just like that was the norm back then. But I think enough people saw it and were just like, no, that's not the right way, that everyone stopped doing that. You know? But it came back around for contests. Yeah. Now they make their final trick and they're like looking around for praise.
They
you
barely
know?
even land it and they're fucking screaming now. Like I loved it when everyone was too cool to celebrate, you know?
Right.
When you would like try to catch someone smiling after a big trick, but they're just stone cold. I like that. And that's gone now, man.
Bastion brought the celebration back.
Right.
Yeah.
He always had it anyway. Like he lands stuff and his whole body just has attitude, you know? It's weird. Like without even putting his arms up or without doing anything, like just the way he lands, the way he stands, the way he like makes his tricks, it has attitude already. It's crazy.
Some people get a pass. I always loved it. I always loved when Bastion would do it. But yeah, these days it's getting a little out of hand again. We might need a new Tom Penny.
No, Bastion was just a beast.
Yeah.
I remember like skating Tampa with Bastion, and he's getting ready to go into the like roll into the pyramid, and he was doing like cable aerial kickflips, and he said for him that was easier than doing a kickflip over the pyramid. It's the same thing. A kickflip once it leaves your feet is kind of unpredictable, but with the cab flip, you get it started, you start your rotation, you give it a little flick, and you kind of watch it. And for him, between the two, he's more consistent on a cab flip than he was with a regular kickflip.
Insane.
It was wild, but like, you know, interesting to watch.
It is a hot, windy afternoon on Venice Beach. You're sitting on the edge of the boardwalk, peacefully enjoying a fish taco. Too peacefully. You don't notice the growing flock of seagulls circling above like feathery sharks. One bold gull dive bombs your taco, and then another. Suddenly, a screeching swarm descends. You drop your food and try to run, but it's too late. They want more than just your lunch. Now they want you. Thousands of people on the boardwalk, and no one tries to help you. No one, but maybe one. Around the corner comes none other than Eric Ellington, smooth as butter, handsome like Johnny Depp, and Orlando Bloom's love child. With one swift motion, he ollies up on a nearby bench, then launches a massive big spin heel flip, kicking up just enough wind to disorientate the seagulls. Then, he reaches into his snake leather pants, pulls out a stale baguette imported from Paris, and launches it into the sky like a missile. The gulls give chase, screeching in a fury as they follow the airborne bread out over the ocean. Eric helps you up, hands you your taco, miraculously still intact, apart from the fact that he has added some of his extra hot sauce. Careful with those tacos out here, unless you have a death wish. Then, just like that, he skates off into the sunset, handsome as Brad Pitt's hair in Troy, smooth as a criminal on coke. You will never forget this day. Sometimes heroes don't wear capes. Sometimes they wear CHPO, the worldwide leader in sunglasses and watches. Always doing it for the people. So you probably have the greatest frontside 360 of all time. Debatable, but some would say, and easily the most recognizable.
I appreciate that.
What was your personal favorite one that you did? And is there one that got away?
I don't know. The personal favorite, a lot of people say the Santa Monica one is their favorite.
Yeah, 100%.
And I'm glad I went back and got that one because I had actually tried that years earlier. We were shooting for an interview for Transworld, my first interview, a pro spotlight with Transworld. And we got a backside 180 down it. And no one had really skated that triple set or had it in the magazine or anything. It was kind of relatively new. So I ollied it and backside 180'd it. And we got a sequence of that. And then I went for the frontside 360 and I landed on it. But when it slipped out, there was sand there too. So when I slipped out, my feet went forward and it actually like scraped up my whole back. Like my shirt pulled up and there was sand on the cement. And it just scraped my back up. And I was like, So I was like, we'll come back for that one. And we ended up not coming back for years. But when we were filming for that Element video, we ended up just, all right, we're back at the thing. I'll give it a shot. And they ended up getting it that day.
So,
yeah, that one's a good one. And that one also was Dan Wolf filmed that one, which I didn't get to film with him very often. He left Element not too long after I got on. So that's actually one of the few things I shot with Dan. And as luck would have it, that was the exact day he like unopened the new box that had the Century Death Lens in it. It wasn't known as the Death Lens back then. He shows up, puts it on the camera, and I'm looking at it like, what is that? He's like, just got it today. Let's give it a shot. It's supposed to make the shots dynamic because you start out really small. And then when you're in the middle of the screen, you're really big. And then you get really small again. So like just the way it travels is pretty rad. And that was the first thing that he had shot on it.
So sick.
That's
awesome. So that was a fun one. Yeah, when I saw it later, it was like, oh, that lens is good.
You're like, that's the one.
Because it's right in the dip is right when you're passing by the screen.
Crazy.
Yeah, it goes right into the lens. It's rad.
That's awesome.
So that one's special for that reason.
And then is there one that got away?
Well, I guess the one that got away would probably be Love Park then, because we were only there for one day and it rained. So it rained the night before. So we're there and the ground's all wet and we weren't going to skate the gap because the fountain's really slick when it's wet. And there was a big puddle right at the end. And it was someone else that came up to us. We were skating the ledges and stuff. And one of the locals just asked like, hey, are you going to skate the big gap? I was like, well, it's wet. I don't think it's really worth the punishment, And then he's like, all right. And he went to the trash can, grabbed some old newspapers and just wiped it up, dried it all up. And he's like, hey, it's dry now. Go skate it. It's like, well, I mean, if you went to that much effort, we'll give it a shot.
That's crazy.
Yeah, just started going for it. And it's rad because you can get so much speed from back there. So no problem getting enough speed. You can push for days. The ground there is super poppy. That like rough marble is really good, like really dense. And you just get a sick pop off that. So olling it wasn't that bad, but it was summertime. Like I know that when people first tried to ollie it, it looked like it was in the dead of winter and there was a bunch of people there and like they were having a contest for someone to make it. And I remember Vinny Ponti being the one that made it and jumped into the crowd. It's in an old 411. But the day we were there, it was, it had rained the night before, but it was sunny. It was nice and weather was cool. Ollieing it wasn't that bad. Like got the ollie first try. Then went for the backside 180, got that one first try. Damn. Then went for the frontside 360 after that and landed on it. But because it was still slightly slick, when you land, it kind of like leans a little. And as soon as you lean at all, it would just wash out. So you had to land dead straight. And I had the problem just every time I'd land, the heels would go down just a little bit. And then all of a sudden you're sliding. So, and I think on maybe the fourth try, I landed and my tail broke and it snapped all the way to the ground. And I was like, well, there's no turning the board around for this one to do that. So just had to let that one go. And I didn't have another board with me and we were going home that day. Like not even like maybe an hour later, we were hopping on a plane or something. Damn. So that was it. And I never went back before they took the whole thing out. So that was my one shot at it. And I gave it my best shot, I landed on a few and it was definitely in the wheelhouse. It would have been.
Did you get a Baker Maker? I can't remember.
Yeah.
I did the kind where it landed and I slid, but I stayed on the board.
Yeah.
I was able to get it that far, but I never got the right away that I wanted. In my book, I want the perfect one,
On video. It was in the on video. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, they've covered it. Some people say it's a make, some people say it's a bail, but either way, like I did my best, you know.
Did you go there because Love was closing and you wanted to skate it?
I think we just happened to be in the area. For real. I think we just happened to be, we were out there for something. I don't think it was like a demo or anything, but we were out there just to skate the city. Maybe we were filming for the audio video or something. I'm not sure.
Okay. So you can't pick yourself because in our opinion, you got the best front threes of all time. Who's got the second best or your favorite other than yourself?
I think the one who has them the best is Donger, Kien Liu. He's got the best one ever because he's the one that taught me how to do it. And he had the quickest, most perfect wrap, and he could do it on flat ground, no problem, which is probably the hardest way to do it. But just the way he could whip it and point that nose and just the quickness that he got his whole body around. Like he got straight before he was even on the ground. Like he landed dead straight already. So I'll give him the best one. And then the ones that are kind of carrying the torch on it, we got Ryan DeCenzo, who does them really well.
Yeah,
and
Canadian
he's
brother.
probably done it down maybe one of the biggest. He might have the biggest one too. Like
yeah.
And then he got it down Wallenberg too, which I always wanted to get that one down Wallenberg. But he got Wallenberg, and I think he made Wallenberg first try too.
Yeah, I think that was first try.
And I think Deshaun Jordan also has one of the other really good solid ones where he gets all the way around and lands dead straight and with a lot of power. And he also got the 270 lip at Hollywood, which is basically a frontside 360 lip. Those ones are hard. And to commit to it on the 16 is gnarly. So give him a lot of props for that one too.
Dude, you keep tabs on those front 360s out there, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I get tagged in them. If anyone does one well, then I get tagged in it. I remember also when Jake Wooten had his over the fence. The first one he had was off it was in a contest setup, and they had like a little ski jump at the end of something, and he did a frontside 360, and he got completely sideways. Like his head dips down to the side, and his board is like even with him in the air. It was really strange. And I got tagged in that one first because he just does it so unique. And then he did it over a fence, like out of a ditch over a fence, like a head-high fence. And that one also I got tagged in. So he's got a really good one. So got to give him props for that.
Yeah.
Respect.
Yeah.
All right. So I feel like we've waited long enough. Anyone familiar with your career probably knows this question's coming, but you know, once in a lifetime opportunity to interview Jeremy Wray. So we got to ask, take us behind the scenes on the water tower ollie, and why on earth did you jump it first, man?
Yeah. Well, just finding it in the first place, it was just right off the main road where we would drive to the freeway over the hill from La Habra. So anytime we went to any of the spots that were inland, we would have to drive by it. And we drive by it on the way there and the way back. And at first, you're not really looking at it. But in the time of roof gaps, all of a sudden you start looking at all possible roof gaps. And then you're looking at it with different eyes and driving by it and just seeing it, like maybe that's possible. And from the street, it doesn't look as big as it really is. You know, from a distance, you're like, maybe that's possible. Then one day we were just driving by and had enough time to check it out. So I climbed up there and figured out you can get up on the fire escape ladder. So I was able to get up there and just go to the edge and look. And it was at the limit of what's possible, but I could tell it's probably possible, you know? So just knowing about it, seeing it, I've been up to the edge. I know what it looks like, and I understand what it's going to take to get it done. So, all right, I kind of just put it in the back pocket, and I ended up calling Sturt about it, Dan Sturt, the photographer. And I let him know I've got a spot that he might want to check out. And then, so, you know, I don't know if it was a few days or a week later or whatever, he ends up coming up. I show him the spot and just walking the ground same way. We didn't go up to the top that day. I think we stayed at the bottom, but just walked the grounds, looked at it. So he kind of eyeballed it, figured out the way he wanted to shoot it, and then we just left. We didn't do anything that day. And then he just called me up randomly out of the blue, maybe months later. I don't even know if it was 4 months later, 6 months later, just randomly called me. Hey, you want to go do that thing today? Like, all right. And we went and handled it. So, and we got lucky that Ty Evans was with me that day because Ty was working on that project, The Starting Point, with me that day. We'd been working for about a week straight, just doing flat ground tricks. It was a how-to video for Transworld. And then we were going out to film one of those that day. And I just had to let him know, hey, do you mind going to check this other thing first? And then we'll go to the flat ground after. He goes, yeah, all right. So he had no idea what we were heading into. And he figured it out pretty quick, the best way to shoot it. But I saw from one of the earlier takes, he had gone up the other mountain and was shooting it. But I'm goofy footed. He's regular footed. So he got all set up and realized he's on my backside. So he had to relocate to the other side to get it from the front. So once he was all set, though, we got it. And the reason for running and jumping it is there's only a fire escape ladder on the south side, and you go into the wind if you go the other way. So I had to run and jump into the wind and then ollie back. And there's no way to get on the other tower without jumping across.
Damn. So it was necessary.
And it was too far to run and jump even holding your board because it takes everything you got. You need to use your arms and everything to jump. Yeah. So I would have to toss my board across first and hope it landed like wheels up so it doesn't roll off, and then go back and run and jump before my board falls off. So, and the other reason for running and jumping and doing it from that side is because the side I'm jumping from had like cement patches on the ground that were just big enough to where you don't want to hit one of those. And the other side was smooth. So I'd rather have the smooth takeoff and land on the rough stuff because I wouldn't, if it was rough on both sides, I wouldn't have done it at all because it's just too unpredictable with like cement patches and stuff. Yeah, they were pretty rugged on the landing.
Rolling up to that.
Did you bring a broom up there?
I didn't, but because it was just another, I don't know how I would get a broom up there. I would have to climb up with it through the fire escape, throw it across, and then sweep it, So I just swept it all with my foot. Just kicked rocks out of the way and stuff. And it wasn't too bad up there, but there were definitely little rocks.
Yeah. That's what I always think about. Like that'd be,
And I don't know if he has a clip that shows it, but on one of the tries, how there was a rock in front of me and it kind of bounced in my path. Oof. But only once there was a rock that like bounced out of my wheel. And I don't know if that shows in the footage or not. I'd have to look through all the tries. Yeah. So I haven't seen the original tape in forever, but little clips keep showing up, and more than I've ever seen before keep showing up because every time the story gets told, someone will try to like track down more footage. But the original tape is still around. It's just not with me.
Wow. I'd love to see that unedited.
That's crazy.
We'll have to track it down and just digitize it because it's only 5 tries. So it should be easy enough to get the whole tape and go through it,
It took 5 tries?
Yeah. It was on the 5th try that I rolled away. Yeah.
Oh, so you had to jump it on your feet 5 times.
Yeah.
You have to commit as soon as you throw your board down, basically, because the eject point is like you can't just throw down and then just run off your board and bail because you might just fall if there's too much momentum. So that's like
that was the hardest part. You had to make sure you were going fast enough to clear it, even if you got a bad ollie or you missed your pop or anything like that. You had to make sure you're going fast enough to make it to the other side. Because at some point you won't be able to stop. Even if you tried to hop off your board and do a stutter step, you won't stop before you go off. Yeah, and I don't know if you guys saw what happened to that guy, Tony Willie. He's a Whittier skater where he actually fell off the roof.
No, wow.
He was skating a Whittier skate spot and there was a roof gap and it was a high to low one. But at some point he's getting closer to the edge and he stepped off his board funny.
Oh, I think I did see that.
It looked like there was maybe even little rocks or dust or something because his foot slipped when he stepped off the board and then he ended up falling off the roof. And that's the kind of thing, like with the water tower, you can't do that, And with that one, you can't do it either. He was lucky to survive that. But like when you're on the rooftop, you have to be very, very aware of what you're doing. And
you gotta be ready.
Just be ready for anything, and try to avoid those situations as best you can. And I'm sure like he did everything he could to avoid it, but it was just the wrong place, wrong time, wrong speed, and it all went south. So it was a scary one to watch, just knowing that it's possible and then actually seeing the worst of it, And he made it through and he still bounced back and still skates. So that's crazy. He survived that.
Yeah. You had a phase of just like fiending those adrenaline rushes because rewatching your parts, you skated a lot of roof gaps and you also love skating ledges over roof drops. What got into you to where you're like, I just want to skate the scariest shit and risk my breaking my legs basically on all these spots or worse?
Well, the roof to roof ledge came about because we were actually looking for another roof gap. And that was in our local town of La Habra, just skating around, and we knew about the building and it had a gap in the roof. So we had seen it from below, and we figured out how to get up on the roof. We went and checked it out. But the problem is there's not enough room to get speed for the roof gap. It's like there's a gap in it, and then there's a roof, and then there's another gap. So, and there's not enough room on either side to really get more than an ollie. You know, you could probably throw down and ollie it, but, you know, beyond that, it's not going to be very skatable. So while we kind of gave up on that roof gap because it's not as good, it was Paul Luna was up there with us and saw the ledge. He's like, what about this? And we looked at it, and it's an over knee high ledge. So it's pretty good size, like as far as the height. And it already had like a metal edge, like a tin metal edge. So if you hit it too hard, it'll stop. So if you like ollie up to a hard 50-50 or land on a 5-0 really hard, it'll just dent the tin and you'll get pitched. So you had to really light foot everything on it. But if you get on it nice and light, and it was already painted and everything, so it didn't need anything, but you just got to get on light, because once you get through that paint, it's all just soft tin. But it was a rad spot. And it was one of those things. It was really dynamic looking, you know? And if you don't think about the hole, you're really just doing like a ledge over a big gap, you know? Like if it was dirt, you do the same trick. You just can't step in the dirt, you know? It's like floor is lava kind of tricks, you know?
Yeah. You just needed those adrenaline rushes, eh? Yeah.
So, and I didn't have any real trouble with it until the back tail. I think the back tail was the hardest. And the reason why it was even harder is it had an overlap in the metal tin on it. Going goofy-footed front side, you pass it. And it's on the last like 1.5 feet of the ledge that the tin just has like an overlap. So when you're going that way for the back tail, your wheel would hit it. And it stuck out enough to where like it started cutting into the wheel, and I couldn't get past that little overlap. I even tried like taping it back down and getting it flat, and I just couldn't get over it. And then finally we figured out, went back and got it. But just had to do it differently.
Front nose and back tail were serious clips.
Back tail was scary. That's probably one of the scariest tricks I ever tried, because you're completely just turning your back to a hole in the ground that could kill you.
Blind.
You know? So it was tough. But I went for the back tail to fakie just to keep the momentum going, you know, because you don't have to stand up as high on it. Because the more locked in my wheels were, the more likely it was to catch on that overlap. So you had to light foot it and lean in, like lean into the hole, which is what you don't want to do. But that'll keep you like, I don't know, able to get through it light footed.
Slipping out on a back tail like that, though, is like the wrong way. You could just fall in the hole if you like slip out to fakie too soon.
Definitely. That's why you had to go fast enough to make it. Right. Exactly. So you had to get in right. Don't hit your tail on the way up. You know, you ever done that on a back tail? You clip your tail of your board on the way out onto the ledge, and the board just disappears, and you're like just flying. So,
yeah,
you had to make sure you're high enough over it to get it on proper.
All those roof gaps over the years, you never fell down any of those into the lava ever?
No, you can't.
That's what's up.
You can't. You had to make sure that you didn't. Yeah, I think one of the early ones that we were doing was at the La Habra High School, the roof gap, because I had a high to low there. And I think that was even, we shot it with Sturt early on. First thing I ever shot with him was an ad for Airwalk shoes. I was on the team for them, and just did an ollie over the roof gap. But the way it was shot was pretty amazing. And it was a black and white ad, and the board just all boned out, you know? And because I used to stretch my ollies out really far in front of me back then, where you get your back leg all flat. And it was one of those, and just the still shot that he got was pretty rad.
Sick. So you mentioned him earlier, but you came up skating with your brother, who's also Jonas, ended up becoming an extremely talented skater, but also apparently was the wild one out of the bros.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a story about Del Taco and a fire extinguisher? What happened there?
Yeah, it was Taco Bell over here. Oh, and I don't know the full story on that, but the rumor is that he was in the back of a pickup truck and sprayed a fire extinguisher in the drive-thru, but I don't know if there's any truth to that.
Okay.
Because it did happen. I know that it happened, but I don't think that he was the one on the fire extinguisher, and he never wanted to say who it was because he didn't want to get anyone else in trouble. But the whole battle with Taco Bell was funny because it was just the local La Habra Taco Bell, and they hated skateboarders. So because we would just come in and order food like everybody else. And then it always ended up being a battle over refills. Like you try to get a refill and they're like, nope. I'm like, oh, why not? It says free refills. It's a hot day out there. We're skating. Why can't I get a refill? Nope. Can't get a refill. Okay. And then it got to the point where people would just take their cup with ice and just throw it at the people in the store for not giving them a refill, So then there was just a back and forth battle for years. And then at one point they were just like, no skateboarders allowed. So even if you went in there without your skateboard, they're like, nope, like they could spot you and you just weren't allowed to,
That's
to
crazy.
eat there. Damn. And I don't know, they lasted for years. Yeah. All kinds of drama over Taco Bell.
Dude, skaters in their refills.
And then someone had enough, hit the drive-through.
Yeah. People got handcuffed in the parking lot just for being there.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was rough.
Damn.
Yeah. It was a wild one. Wild times in La Habra.
You weren't there for that one, but do you have maybe another?
I wasn't there for that.
Another fun story about your brother?
So for a while, I was trying to collect some of these stories and put them under a hashtag my Jonas story, and just tell some of these rad stories. Mm-hmm. And I haven't shared even a quarter of the stuff that we could. So I'll try to get back on that and just do them more regularly because they're just funny stories,
Mm-hmm.
Some good ones.
Oh, hell yeah. Do you want to share one now or how you feel?
There's funny ones, like one that I shared. A lot of it's just at fast food places too, because we'd be out skating and stop to get a bite to eat. And that's when you run into random people. But there was one that I had shared where there was just an old man and he walked up behind Jonas and he was looking at his shirt. And, we used to go to Hawaii in the summertime and he had a shirt that on the back said the name of the Hawaiian state fish, and it's a humu humu nuku nuku apua. And it says that across the back of the shirt. Mm-hmm. So the old man comes up, and he's like, son, what does your shirt say? And then Jonas looks over at him and goes, humu humu nuku nuku apua. And the guy goes, come again? And he says it again. And the guy goes, son, do you speak English? And we all just start laughing. And Jonas goes, yes, I speak English. And what my shirt says is humu humu nuku nuku apua. And it's the Hawaiian state fish. And the guy was just like, okay, like whatever you say, buddy, And just walked away kind of confused, but we were all dying laughing.
That's amazing.
That's awesome. That's a good one.
Yeah. No, and just like Jonas always had interactions with random people. They were just gravitated towards him constantly. Mm-hmm. And lots of just funny stories like that.
That's awesome. Yeah. We heard you once took a private jet to a demo. What's the story there?
Yeah, that was insane.
Yeah, sounds like it.
It was like in the audio days, and I don't know if it was because of Bam or Tony Hawk, but one of the two, because they were both writing for audio at the time. Mm-hmm. And the private jet, I think, was somehow involved with the Sacramento Kings, because some of the owners of audio were part owners in K2 and this whole group of companies. Oh. So they had like the Sacramento Kings somehow in their umbrella of things they worked with and owned. So I think it was somehow linked to that organization. But yeah, we get on this private jet and get to fly to the demo. I don't even remember where we went, but it was a cool flight. And, you're right there. You got to talk to the pilots and see the cockpit. It was amazing.
Audio must have had a pretty lavish traveling style back in the day with Bam and Tony on there. Any stories from that era?
For the most part, it was just regular travel until you get to where you're going. And then, you go for like a demo or a signing and there's just a line around the block, and they really are just there for Bam or Tony. So they could care less anyone else. And it was just funny to be there signing stuff next to these guys. It was rad. Mm-hmm. So... And you'd have to cut the signing off. You could be there for 3 hours and then there's still a line and they're like, sorry. And, it pisses a bunch of people off who were in that 4-hour mark in the line and didn't get anything, but you can only be there for so long. So yeah, it was sad to see those people leave empty handed, mm-hmm. but they always did their best and like tried to sign as many things. And even on the way out, try to get a few people that, didn't make it to the front of the line, but mm-hmm. it's tough.
So what inspired the rat tail back in the day? And is there any chance of it coming back?
Oh, it just looks like a rat tail. That was actually my bangs. So I think it's because I would always get sunburn on my nose. So I started having to wear a hat when I skated just because it was always constantly red. And then from having a hat on, I just stopped cutting my hair. But then it would get like long on the sides. So I started shaving the sides and the back, but left the top. So then the top got longer and longer. So I just kept putting it back. And then all of a sudden it's coming out the back and looks like a ponytail. But it was all just my bangs.
That's
It was
crazy.
like the top part.
Yeah, that was a random one.
But I think way back when rat tails were in, like maybe in the 80s, when like there was breakdancing and stuff, and you'd have this little rat tail, we would rock them back then. But that's the little one that comes off the bottom right there and just stays like real thin. So, I remember when that was a thing, but that was way before skating. That was like elementary school days,
Yeah, I had that back in the day.
Chris Lambert wants it to make a comeback for you. So I don't know if you got that.
What's a day in the life of Jeremy Wray look like in 2025, man?
It depends what day of the week it is. If it's a school day, then it's me getting up with kids. Like our son's about to start high school this year. So tomorrow is actually the first day of school.
Crazy.
And then our daughter's in 6th grade. So she'll have her last year at elementary school. And so tomorrow morning I'll be getting up early, getting them ready, and then drop them off at school. And depending on the day of the week, while they're at school, I can go skate a park, and usually it's me and Pat Chanita and a few others just going out with a GoPro and filming a couple clips at the park while the kids are in school. And then you got to wrap it up and get over there and get them before they're waiting too long.
That's amazing.
So it is funny. Like sometimes you'll be working on a trick or be right there, like getting a trick, and you'll have to just cut it off, and you have to walk away and not get it. It's really the hardest. We've had some good ones where you're just battling a trick and you're so close. You have it. You've landed on it, but you didn't get the right away yet. And then it's like, no, gotta go. I can't have the kids just standing there waiting. Gotta go get them.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
Yeah, they know what you're doing when you're late too. They're like, these guys at the skate park again, man.
I think I've always made it. Even if it was cutting it close, I always made it. Yeah, I haven't left them standing yet.
Clutch.
Yeah.
So what's next for Jeremy Wray?
Doing a lot more artwork stuff again. Because all the way along, doing all my own board graphics and shoe designs and shirt designs, stuff like that, I got to do a lot of my own artwork. So I've still been doing a lot of art and design, and I design all the stuff for Ray Bros. This is actually one of the designs. This isn't available on the site, but this is one we did for, we got our brother-in-law, Kevin, who passed away, and my brother, Jonas. And then this one says Bros Forever. And it's, like the Bose logo. We just did it for the family. I only made 10 of these.
Nice.
But, just doing design work and logos and having fun with it. Yeah, and then we got some art shows coming up. We've been doing more of those lately. So lots of artwork going around.
That's awesome, man. Love to hear it.
That's really cool, man. Congrats.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's been fun. I mean, I've been doing artwork longer than I've been skateboarding, and I've been skateboarding for 42 years. So imagine, it's a lot of artwork.
That's awesome.
So, and I've been doing a lot of scratch board work lately. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but you get it's like a black piece of masonite, and then you scratch away to a white surface underneath. So it's basically like drawing in reverse. You're more like drawing in the highlights rather than drawing in the shadows, and everything you remove becomes white. So
sick.
Yeah, it's interesting just doing it that way. So I got some scratch boards nearby if you want me to show you one.
Yeah, let's peep it, man.
All right, here, I'll grab one for you. Let's see if you can fit that in.
Whoa. The ollie.
Whoa.
So we did this one for
that's awesome.
A project for Storied Skateboarding. They wanted to do a deck with it, and they were just doing like the history of ollies and trying to come up with like whatever the most famous ollies were. And this one was in the running for it. So we ended up doing that artwork on a deck.
Who won the most iconic ollie?
They gave it to me.
Yeah, of course they did, dude.
For the water tower,
Man.
Yeah, Thrasher Magazine did an article, and they asked a bunch of pros what their favorite covers were for the greatest Thrasher cover of all time. And they said it won. Like the water tower got it for that one too. So it's the number one greatest Thrasher cover of all time.
Of course it did.
That's exciting stuff, That's a high honor.
Dude.
That's about the highest honor you can think of in skateboarding.
That's unreal.
Yeah,
Hell
so that's cool. Just to get the cover is an honor. But to get voted the greatest Thrasher cover of all time is just amazing.
Wow.
So that's awesome.
Congrats, man. That's epic.
Yeah. I was trying to think like what is the most iconic skateboard trick of all time?
Right.
And obviously it's like 900 is the like probably, but
right.
I mean the water tower's got to be like 1A to 1B, especially for street skaters.
It's coming up a lot. Like, what are the most iconic tricks that have been done on a skateboard ever? You know, and trying to figure that out. And one of the ones that I could think of was Frankie Hill doing that big gap at the end of his part in Propaganda, where he does a mute grab down the huge dirt hill. I don't know if that's before your time or not, but
that is definitely before my time.
It was so much bigger than anything that had ever been done before. So it just blew everybody away. So I ended up doing a scratch board for that one in that same style. But the tricky part with that one is there's no photo of it. So I had to do it from the video and just pull a still frame and try to make it. Let's see.
Wow. That looks amazing.
Yeah, this stuff, it's tedious work, but it's super fun. And it's overwhelming when you start, but when you get close to the end and then get it finally finished, you just look back and pretty stoked on how they come out.
Yeah, love to see it.
I can feel the heat from here.
Yo, it's Rapid Fire with the Ghost. And this week, we're honored to be brought to you by Spitfire Wheels. And we've got some breaking news for you. Spitfire has a new collection dropping soon with the Bible. That's right, Thrasher Magazine and Spitfire, two of the best San Francisco brands coming together for a limited release of wheels and apparel. Scapegoats, big heads, classic flames, and all the iconic lockups you'd expect from two of the best in the game. Keep your eyes on your local for the new collab dropping soon. And you know there's going to be a heavy video to follow. Stay tuned. Hit Eastern Border, Jokers, Stratosphere, and Uprise in the US. Sanction, The Drive, Primary, and The Source right here in Canada. They're sure to have it all coming. And don't forget to tell them the Bunt sent you. All right, Jeremy, one section left. Little rapid fire. Let's see what you got up your sleeve.
All right.
Favorite skater?
It's usually Mark Gonzalez and Natas Kappas. It's got to be a tie because those are my two biggest influences growing up.
Nice.
Yeah.
Favorite video?
That's another multiple answer. I got to go with like Video Days, of course, and then Questionable because those were the best. And then also Tim and Henry's. Tim and Henry's was impactful for me.
Nice. Favorite video part?
Oh, maybe Sean Sheffy in the Life video, the Soldier Story.
Sick.
If you're not familiar, give it a watch. It's set to a good
we got
soundtrack.
A lot of homework.
That's a good one.
You've given us a lot of homework today.
Yeah.
Favorite style?
Maybe Javante Turner or Jason Lee.
Which skater had the biggest influence on the way you skate?
Oh, I think there's two parts because like it's going big would be, Frankie Hill and Sean Sheffy and maybe even Markovich in that one. But then, if we're going technical and doing lines, it's got to be like Mike Carroll and Javante.
Nice. Most talented skateboarder on planet Earth?
I'd go with like Guy Mariano just for how ahead of the times he was and how talented he really was and is. He still kills it and does stuff that you just wouldn't even know is possible. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What's your favorite trick?
The obvious answer would probably be frontside 360 ollie, but I also always love 360 kickflips, a good caught one,
Mm-hmm.
So it's a tie. But also backside 180 heel flips too. I mean,
dude, I
always love backside heels.
Yeah.
I mean, it was one of those ones I learned it early on. It works. And you
got a great one.
They're just fun to do. And when you catch it right, you know it. So you can count on it.
Yeah. Did you do Santa Monica triple first try?
That one was second try.
Second try.
Yeah. And then on the third try, I went for it again and broke my board. I landed, I stepped off the tail and it broke down right down the middle. But also another favorite trick has always been switch backside kickflips, which I kind of miss doing those because they were so much fun. Just when you get it right, you're right over it. And it's easier than a lot of tricks because you land going forward, It's a good one.
Your plan B part, you were throwing those out all over the place, man. Doubles. Yeah.
They definitely made sense. And I love the way they look and just the way you can catch it and the way you can flick it. Once you get it, you got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you say you miss it, so once you get it, you got it. But did you lose them?
I just don't do them as often. You know, certain tricks, like even when it comes down to 360 flips, the amount of effort it takes to get one to pop and come all the way around and catch, it's like not something I would do every day anymore, you know?
Yeah.
But, you know, whenever you really want it, you just got to bring it back out.
What's the hardest trick for you?
Anything that scrapes, like I can't do pressure flips or all the impossibles because you got to hold your foot down a little longer to get the board to like turn up. I can't do any of those. I never learned how. My foot doesn't do that.
Same. I feel you.
Yeah.
Most illegal trick.
Anything where you kick your back foot off, like when people would do like the crooked grind on a box, like a bump to box, and then kick their back foot off. You remember those from the contest days? People would do that. It's like their ender trick, and it's like, no, that's not really as cool as you think it is.
That was one of my OG favorite skaters' signature move, Fabrizio
Right,
Santos.
and they would kickflip into it. They could kickflip into it and all that. But it's just one of those things, like, it just never really did it for me, you know? But a lot of it's like, it's similar to like Benihana's, like when you kick your back foot off, or the 360 flip where you kick your back foot off really far, you know? Something about kicking your back leg out just doesn't really work for me.
Yeah, I feel you. Bob Burnquist, you do those too, no? 1 foot backsmiths on vert.
Yeah, but that's your front foot. And I don't know. It's weird. It's different. That one is more acceptable than the back foot off on a crooked grind.
I think they're both crazy.
Yeah.
Actually, grinding with 1 foot on is
never good.
It's just strange. Yeah, I'd rather do a 1-footed ollie into a backsmith than do a backsmith with your foot off.
Yeah.
You know? Because a 1 foot backsmith is dope. You know?
I don't know.
Picture Mike Carroll doing that on a handrail.
That was his like Tony Hawk special move too. Bob's was, I think.
What's the favorite clip you've ever gotten?
That's a tough one. There's been a few over the years that I was stoked to get. Obviously, like doing the sports arena triple set, I was happy to get that clip. But it's also like it was filmed on 16 millimeter, so it goes in a little bit slower motion. So it's a little bit different than like, I don't know, some of the other clips I got. But that one meant the most just because it was like one of those things we'd all been looking at it. And I don't know how many people took it seriously to try it, but I finally got to the point where I figured I could do it and I got it done. And that was just a big thing for me to get that triple set done because no one had done it yet.
Watching a lot of your footage today, it was crazy to, like, you've done so many iconic tricks, but they're so spread out and like random places, like a Trans World montage or like that World Industries tour video. You name it. It was like you didn't have all your crazy bangers in one part. It was like sprinkled them all over the place.
Well, after Plan B went out of business, we were filming for that next Plan B video. So a lot of that would have been all together and apart. So after Plan B went out of business, I was sitting on a bunch of footage and it got kind of sprinkled out into all these different places. But yeah, we've talked about it before, just wrangling it all together and making that part that would have been a sick one. So maybe we'll still have to do that. I know someone has tried like to do some of it.
A memory screen. You see that guy kills it where you're like, that would be great.
Dude, the Element tour video is like a bunch of skate park footage. And then all of a sudden you back heel Santa Monica triple, back heel Carlsbad, and front 3 Santa Monica triple. It's just like, whoa, what? You just did a blunt stall in a mini ramp. Hell yeah. What's the worst trend you've been a part of?
Well, I was in the big pants, small wheels days, but like definitely small wheels were worse than baggy pants. So small wheels.
Fair. What's the gnarliest trick you've ever witnessed?
I guess I've been around for a few, but maybe Chris Markovich doing the backside 180 down that same Frankie Hill gap. That was, I think, his last trick in his color video part. But that was a big one for the days too. So
nice.
That was sick.
I think you may have already mentioned it, but what's the one trick that got away?
Oh, for me, there was another big backside 180 that I didn't get. It was the Etowanda quadruple set. And I had ollied that thing and I ollied over the rail. And then I went for the backside 180. And the backside 180, I kept landing on it and standing up and even riding away. And then as I'm standing up and riding away, my board would just wiggle out from underneath my feet. And I'd end up just walking off it.
Damn.
And I never got the one that rode all the way off the curb. And I don't know why. It was just like, I think my legs were weak from doing it over and over because I ollied the set first, then went for the one over the rail, then went for the backside 180 after that. And by then, that thing is huge. So it just gets taxing on your legs. And I didn't want to land and not be able to stand up. And my legs were getting weak. So I figured I'd go back and get it because I was landing on it every try. I never even kicked it out. I think I landed on every one, but just couldn't ride away. And then they took out that whole thing. They remodeled the school. So that quadruple set doesn't exist anymore. But it was a big one.
I remember, I don't know what it was an ad for or where, like, I just remember seeing it in a mag, I'm pretty sure. And it like broke my brain. Like just quadruple set over the rail when you're like a little kid. You're like, okay, I'm like ollieing like a 3-stair right now and I'm hyped.
Yeah, that one was up there. That might have been one of the biggest things I had ollied. Like there's a few that stand out, but that one's up there because you got to go over the rail too. So you got to go even faster.
Yeah. What's the biggest bunt you've ever witnessed?
Shoot. I know there was one, it must count as a bunt because the guy got smoked, but he actually tried it. But there was footage of a guy ollieing a huge double set in the rain.
Oh. Yeah.
And he had like a bandana on and he was like at the top getting all hyped and he ran back to get the speed. And then you just see him come out and he hits his tail, but the board doesn't even stay on his feet. I think even for the first foot and a half, his board leaves his feet immediately from what I remember. And it was so brutal.
Or something like that.
You remember the clip
sensation,
too? It was so brutal. And it was like, you figure you're about to see someone not make it because it's raining and it's a huge double set. But I did not figure how brutal that would be and how short he would come up.
Yeah. That was early YouTube days too. So that I remember that went so viral. Like everyone.
Yeah, that was nuts. So if that counts as a bunt, that's by far the worst bunt I've seen.
That's like the most famous bunt of all time.
Top three biggest bunt ever. Like Sheckler, backside flip El Toro. Like that was a massive bunt claim. Some people are saying my Switch Smith in Australia.
True.
What's the last new trick you learned?
We were doing a session the other day and I learned blunt heel flip out of nowhere. I just hadn't really considered it. Like a blunt heel flip to fakie. So,
sick.
And I'd done blunt pivot fakies and blunt straight out, blunt to nose bash, all that kind of stuff. And I think I even did a blunt kick flip back when they were popular, but I just never thought to do the heel flip version and just ended up trying it. And like, it's there. So it's weird to have a trick that you'd never tried before. Just like, oh yeah, I could do that.
That's
nice.
Sick.
What's your dream job after skating?
It used to be maybe shoe design because I was doing shoe design with audio. I got to design all my own shoes from scratch. And, I designed the shoe for Dukes as well. And I just thought that'd be an easy transition into shoe design. But when audio went out of business, that just kind of went away. And then, I don't think anyone really knew that I was doing all my shoe designs. So I don't think I'll end up doing shoe design after all, unless, a company needs some help.
This is the sponsor me tape right here. Anyone need a shoe designer? Favorite local brand?
There's not too many local brands around here. So maybe Small Wheels. They're local.
Sick.
Yeah. It's like James Craig and buddies and Aaron from Small Wheels. So that whole crew. And like, I guess Ray Bros, our brand's probably considered a local brand. So we can say Ray Bros too, There
you go.
Perfect.
Yeah, sorry. Also shout out Aaron and Austin Gillette, the whole Small Wheels team. Yeah. I was on their legendary Canadian flow team as well back in the day. So
nice.
Good love.
So what would we have done if you didn't tell everyone that?
Favorite local skater?
If I'm digging back, there was a guy that you're probably not familiar with either, but Daniel Acamini. He was a local La Habra skater. He was just a gifted skater that, never really got his full dues. And him and maybe Sean Farron too from the Liberty days. Sean Farron was really good. And he just didn't chase the pro kind of thing.
What's the one sponsor you regret riding for?
Probably Destructo Trucks in the end. Because I had I was riding for Thunder and Spitfire at the time, who were my first sponsors. And I wasn't planning on leaving them.
Hell no.
I rode Thunder and Spitfire for 8 years and had no plans of going anywhere else. But then when Destructo came around, they were actually offering designing a truck. And after designing, all kinds of other stuff, it was like, a truck would be a good challenge. I'd like to design a truck. And if you get it just the way you want it, it'd be great. But, when it came down to actually getting the chance to design my truck, it didn't end up working out. I designed the truck, but they ended up using my design for a different brand, and they started Destroyer with it. I don't know if you remember Destroyer after Destructo. That was my design for my truck. And instead of giving me my signature truck, they just took the design and made it another brand with it. And I wasn't on the brand.
That's
so I was
insane.
Like, that's enough,
Yeah, we're Thunder boys over here, man.
I did love my Thunders, but they've had a few different models, but Thunders always turned great. I always loved Thunders.
Mm-hmm. There we go. That's all we wanted to hear.
They were solid.
Yeah, and ended there.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
Favorite teammate ever?
Maybe Kenny Hughes.
Ooh, nice.
And right up there, Reese Forbes too. Like they were just rad to skate with, They were big guys that had pop and weren't afraid of anything. So both of them were really good.
Element bros.
Yeah, exactly.
Hell yeah. Worst teammate ever?
I can't throw out names on worse, but I can give you some scenarios maybe. had a teammate that actually left me at the hotel to go to a best trick contest without me. So he could get what he wanted without me, getting it first.
Wow.
So, that might be up there,
Oh, who could that have been? What team?
Yeah. He's still one of my friends, so I wouldn't call him out. But,
shit. So he's going to know.
Even good people make mistakes.
Worst company?
I don't know if we're talking like Heelys or Skechers or something like that, or like Two Fish.
What's Two Fish?
If it has to be skate, maybe we can go as far as like 02. Remember that brand?
No.
They were shoes made of like Velcro because they were for vegans or vegetarians or something.
Skate shoes?
Oh yeah, I made my shoes with the synthetic materials, so they were, even though they didn't look like it, they were vegan ready. Well, some people don't want to wear leather, so giving them an option. It's
a good thing it was, but some people just hear that word and they just get like angry or something.
Right. Yeah.
I got no issues with the vegan community.
Safe as pissed right now.
Worst trend.
Worst trend. You know what? I think the worst trend is maybe when people would land a trick and it looked like they turned off a robot and they just go like this and they hold the pose just like, we all know what that is. Like, I don't know why that started, but whoever started that and it just ran like wildfire and everyone just fell asleep.
Wow.
I don't know why that's a thing. I've never heard it
described like that. I love that. Turned off the robot.
He might be talking about Chad Dixon.
That's almost why you'd rather see people skate and do lines, because then you don't see that. They're always looking up for the next trick and it's more natural. But if they're doing a single clip and they land and they know they're done with the trick, then they just go to sleep. Turn off their robot.
But would you prefer the robot being turned off or someone screaming for joy for landing their trick?
That's a hard one because I'd rather see them actually show their real emotion rather than be completely devoid of any emotion, like they didn't just do something. It's okay to be nonchalant, but you don't have to like completely turn off. So yeah, I take the one arm up, or smiling, or like cheering with your friends or something. That's better to me. That's more real than like whatever they're doing.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, that's fair.
To a degree, there's a balance.
Yeah.
I feel like we're not going to get a name here, but worst style.
Oh, worst style. Well, I guess it's similar to that other one. Anyone who has fake style. So when they land and like, people, they land a trick and you just see their arm come out of nowhere, like across their body for no reason. Like if you do a trick and it naturally goes like that and you land and you turn and you're twisting your body back, then that makes sense. But some people land a trick going straight and know that they're done. And before the clip is over, just got to move that arm across their body for no reason.
You say people, but is there a name? Is there someone?
No, I've never heard of anybody doing that, man.
There's definitely more than one offender.
You got to help us.
No, and people get mad at me for hating on fake style, but
I've never seen anybody do that.
Of course. Do you have a name that comes to mind though when we're talking arm crosses?
It's a lot of the people after my generation. So, and I don't know where it came from, because like there were a few people that would do weird things with their arms after they made stuff that was a little unnatural, but I'm not sure why they started doing it either. You know, it's just something that happened and evolved, and then people copied it. Like the natural one would be like Dylan. The way Dylan skates was the way he skates. It's all supernatural. And if his arm went over, it's for a reason, because he was turning his body or something. People would see his clips and be like, I want to do that too, and just try to emulate that one part of the trick. They should focus on the rest of the trick, not the arm after, you know?
Yeah. All right, Jeremy, last but not least, who's the last person you want on the sesh?
I guess anyone who's stressing and throwing their board and like making it a hassle to be there, drawing attention, you know? Like if you're trying to skate something and someone else is stressing out and making it like just not enjoyable to be there, I'd much rather have someone just skating and laughing and like, you know, going through it with you and enjoying it.
If a triple OG legend doesn't want to shoot shots, who are we to say anything? Thanks for taking the time, brother.
It absolutely killed it, man. Thanks for coming on the pod.
Maybe I'll fire some shots after the fact. No, thank you guys.
Yeah, off the record.
You've got mail.
Welcome back to the post office, brought to you by our good friends over at Dickey's Skateboarding. Quality workwear since 1922. From the work site to the streets. Ain't nobody keep you fitted like Dickey's, man. All right, Ghost, we back. Who we got up first?
First up, we got an email from Ziggy Kanuman. What's up, Bunt Gang? I'm an artist that grew up in the 2000s with brands like Toy Machine, Blind, and Baker being super popular. That era and art style has had a big impact on me as an artist. My question is, what company has the best board graphics, art style of all time? And also, what current brand has the best board graphic and art style? Love. Damn. Tough question.
I feel like we've gone down this road before, though. I think before my answer was aesthetics. Loved aesthetics back in the day. Woo Welsh, Joey Pepper, all the legends. Flip, obviously goated. And then I just had one more that was in my head. What was it? Oh, Shorties, dude. With that Muska silhouette. Unreal. What about you?
Well, he said it, but I've always liked the Toy Machine stuff. A little dark, some comedy in there. Big demon looking things and whatnot. So I'll go with Toy Machine. And these days, damn, I don't even know what's popping out there these days, man. Did you give one for these days?
Yeah, it's tough, man. Not really. I mean, I still love Baker to this day. Like, we got those Rowan Baker boards when we were down there, and that's still one of my faves, man. And they got Spanky behind the helm now, running and gunning.
Yeah, that's tough, man. I can't lie. I don't think I really pay attention too much to graphics coming out nowadays. There's a million brands doing a lot of cool different stuff. So let's just go with real, because that's what I skate. You dig?
The classic oval. Oh. Yeah, shit. It's harder nowadays. I feel like those legacy and legendary brands were just had more influence on us because we were kids. Now we're just not as into it. But still, great email. Next up, we've got an email from Jamal Jones. What up, Bunt Boys? It's your man's Jay Jones back in the post office. In Ryan Allen's ep, he named several covers of his that I own to this day, which got me wondering, what's your fave cover of a mag that you still own or that you remember? Mine's is P-Rod's Switch Flip cover shot by Atiba for Transworld's July 2002 AM issue. Shoutout Venue Skate Shop in Richmond, Virginia. P.S. Here's proof that I have one of Ryan's covers, my third favorite cover I have. And he sent the Arto backlip, the double kink skateboard mag cover, and a photo of P-Rod switch flip. I think that was from In Bloom, right? That switch flip?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Second last trick, I believe. Switch heel ender, same sesh.
Mm-hmm. So
damn. Okay, wait, I don't have one off the top of my head. Oh, I always liked, I know sequence covers probably aren't for everyone, but I had a subscription to the Skateboard mag when they had the Justin Eldridge Nollie Hill Nose Grind sequence cover. And that was just, ahead of its time, big time. And he did it like as good as you could possibly do. But I have a couple, I'm at my mom's, I have a couple mags over here. I'm just going to go grab one real quick.
Oh, you got
see
some
what the cover
on
is.
hand.
Yeah. But you could say yours. One sec.
One eternity later.
You got one?
Store all your skate mags there?
My mom just always kept all the ones that I had photos in.
Oh, that's epic.
Oh my God, yo. I'm going to start with a banger. Josh Clark.
Holy shit.
Fakey flip into courthouse.
To this day, unreal. Should have been a Thrasher cover.
In case you're not familiar, Josh Clark is the GOAT. He man behind the Bunt Jam and the Glory Challenge production side of things. Let me see who shot this though. I forget who shot this one. Got the sequence in here too. But that's definitely a favorite. I remember when that came out. He came to town. There was a party. He was the man of the hour.
I bet. Still is the man of the hour. My favorite cover of all time, Eric Austin, Back Nose Blunt, Hubba Hideout. Had that as a kid. I think it was like the photo annual for Transworld. I think it came like a little bit bigger than the regular mag. Got that on a family vacation when I was a kid. Unreal memory.
That's epic. That's still to this day iconic things.
Yeah.
I'm struggling to find who shot the cover. Fuck. Apologies to whoever. Oh, here we go. Oh, Christian. Yeah. Dave Christian. JCTM. The boss. Let me just see if there's. Just fly through a couple. Liliani. Switch front crook. Downtown Toronto.
That's crazy. And that switch front crook.
Magnus. Switch flip. Bump to bar. Concrete. What else? Oh, this one I remember very well. Russ Milligan. Switch flip in Toronto. Fucking gangsta shit. I think he has a fat interview in this issue as well.
And Russ we trust.
Man, this is... Oh, Sasha, our boy, backside flip a triple.
Holy shit.
This just make me nostalgic for the days when Canadian mags, like, everyone was fucking couldn't wait for that shit to come out. One more gangsta one. Appleyard this summer. He was living in Toronto.
I can't see it really. What is it?
All got to know the homie. It's a back nose blunt at Bees in Hamilton. Steezy. Ryan Allen
cover.
Ryan Allen photo. Yep.
Yeah. Ryan pushing his own covers on the mag at the skate park. Fuck it.
Thanks for the memory lane. Was there another part to this email? Was that
no,
it?
Just favorite cover that you have or had, he said.
Yeah.
You remember your first mag ever?
Yeah. It was SBC, Jesse Landon cover. 50-50, a big rail in Buffalo, I think. And then it's the one Ryan mentioned. It was in his interview. He asked him to do it again. He broke his ankle. And I always remember that one because it had Black Sol and Daryl in there. Rest in peace. Referred to them as the Manuel brothers. So I always thought of them as the Manny brothers.
They were, man.
Yeah.
Good question.
Great email. All right. Next up, we got an email from Ralph. Mo seasons, Mo questions. Dear Donovan and Seifa, congrats on the new season. Great interviews and banter. Growing up, loads of my skate friends had nicknames to the point where you never knew some of their real names. Some were pretty obvious, like No Slide or The Tower. Others were obscure. I remember one kid rolling up to the spot in dungarees, no t-shirt, colored shoes, and fuzzy hair. Everyone called him Simon, like Woodstock, because he looked like a clown. Looking back on it, we were harsh, but that's just how it was back then. Let's cut to the question. Any great nicknames in your crew? Any that you regret now that you're older? Keep that barn burning. Ralph.
Yeah, we had all sorts of nicknames.
Yeah. We were harsh as hell
One of our great friends.
Well, man.
Yeah, we had some mean ones. Like inside the crew, they were all pretty chill. Like obviously had 6-year-old, which is super chill. Is there any other good ones like right inside the squad? Not really. He was the only one.
Yeah, it was all like the people not
that we would talk shit on.
Classic one, Needle Dick.
Dude, I
brothers.
saw his brother.
And then
I saw his brother
Dick
the other
Senior
day.
and Needle Dick Junior.
I saw his brother Junior the other day, and I still to this day like that's the first thing that came to my head was Needle Dick Junior, and he's like mid-30s. I'm like, this is awful. That's what I still like think of him as. We called some kid Shitface. Remember him?
Of course. I told the story
awful.
before where I called his house and I panicked when his mom answered, and I'm like, I was about to be like, hi, is Shitface there? Hell no. Another harsh one. There was another Donovan that we skated with for a bit. So instead of like, we called him number 2, but then the other nickname was also Pooh. So that was just unnecessary.
I saw him the other day. He's doing good though. He's all right.
Oh, that's great.
And then just the bunters. There's Black Label Bunter, DC Bunter. I think that's it for any of the like notable ones anyways.
Yeah, and we definitely regret all the mean ones because just unnecessary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, next up we've got an email from Marcus Russell. What's poppin'? I'm a skater and a dad about the same age as you guys. Finding time and motivation to skate can be hard at times. Just wanted to shout you guys out for the best pod in skateboarding. Hearing interviews from the guys I grew up idolizing for sure helps keep the stoke alive. I also wanted to shout out the homie Dadboard on YouTube. He's an OG and in similar situations to myself, so catching a weekly video of him is also helps get the motivation to go out and skate. Thanks for holding it down and keeping it real. Peace and love. Marcus from Calgary.
Nice. So no question.
Absolutely. No
Just
question.
Shout out.
But I love that. That's great, man. Anything you can to keep the stoke alive, man. Now you just think of it as exercise, you know? Would you rather go skate for a little bit or hop on the treadmill? Probably don't want to get on a treadmill. So just keep skating, man.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you. All right, next up, we got an email from Dylan LaGrange. What's up, Bunt Boys? First, I want to shout out my boy Cole Pine. I've been trying to get him to listen to the Bunt, so hopefully he comes around to this episode and gets hyped to hear his name. My question, if you were to do a cartwheel, would you do it in the same direction as your board stance? I ride goofy and I naturally hit a cartwheel with my right foot first. I wonder if there's a correlation there. Some new skaters struggle to figure out their stance at first. Maybe the cartwheel trick can help them figure it out. What do you think? Damn. That's
a great question, I guess. Yeah, I skate regs and cartwheel with left foot first.
Same. I don't know if I've ever tried it the other way. It'd be kind of scary.
Switch cartwheel?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be
I
dangerous.
feel like I have done it.
I
as a
always thought
kid,
that the test was like if someone pushes you from behind, like what foot are you stepping forward with first? Or something like that.
Yeah. Well, we got a new one. The cartwheel trick. You got a kid about to try and learn how to skate, but actually, if they're too young, they're not doing cartwheels either.
Yeah. All right. Am I
Cole
up?
Pine, man. You better be listening.
Yeah. Honestly. All right. Next up, we've got a voice note from. Doesn't say. Random Images. Let's take a listen.
Hey, yo, what up, Bunt Gang? It's your boy, SBK, Switch Blunt Kenny, trying to come to you live from my work trip in Hawaii. It's a Saturday, so I went out and got a little faded, swam in the ocean, having a good time. Already got to do a little bit of skating, but trying to meet up with some locals and figure that out for later. Anyways, I love the new season. That Blondie interview was fantastic. Loved hearing somebody who overthinks a lot of things, but also can just appreciate where he's at and where he's been. So it's super cool to hear that one. And a couple of my questions were, I don't know if you guys have any idea about the actual like legends from all over, rippers that listen to you guys' podcast. I know you guys play their stuff all the time, but I don't know if you've ever actually seen them skate. People like Nick Frank coming through. I mean, dude, stale fished. Wallenberg, he's a manual god. He's the sickest dude from the Northern California Bay Area scene. Nate Feldhaus, I've heard written into you guys. Another amazing ripper, super good manual guy. Adam Otenberg is the one who told me to start listening to you guys. He's pro for a small company called Bacon Skateboards. So just, there's some washed up skateboarders in Stockton, California, from where I'm from originally, but I guess they're not really legends. But anyways, I just wanted to know if you guys knew just how many rippers actually listen to your guys' show, aside from pros that you guys might cover or know already. But the last question is, I don't know if I heard Super Bowl predictions, early Super Bowl predictions, because I feel like we watched the AFC Championship game in week 1 between Baltimore and Buffalo Bills. But a lot of teams in the AFC are looking kind of strong right now. A lot are looking really weak, especially people that they thought were going to look strong. NFC is kind of looking like a toss-up. Eagles looked okay, but I don't know. I just wanted to see if you guys, I don't know if I missed it in one of the rundowns or whatever, but yeah, I wanted to see if you guys had any Super Bowl predictions early in the season. Let's see how those play out. I would say Bills, Eagles. That's my shit. Anyways, Switchbone Kenny out.
Now this motherfucker damn near almost started his own podcast just now.
That was wicked. I actually can't remember who I said.
Did we say? And I actually have watched Nate Feldhaus's clips. He is incredible. Maybe I should start researching other skaters more. Okay, Super Bowl prediction. What was yours? Did you have one yet?
Well, we already made one week 1, but I remember. I think I said Baltimore, but I can't remember who I said in the NFC. I think you said Lions,
damn near.
Bills.
In the Blue Collar Bowl. But I might change that. Dude, the people on First Take damn near almost gave the Green Bay Packers the Super Bowl in the first 2 weeks of this season, which was actually
so
pathetic.
Did the Packers.
The glazing for the Packers was insane. So them coming back to earth this week, which we'll get into later, is unreal. But one team that they lost this week in dramatic fashion, but I thought has been incredible is the Rams, dude. The Rams have looked unreal. Stafford stays healthy.
Is no joke.
Dude, and Puka is incredible. And having Devontae on the other side, Kyron Williams, like, they look great. I like the Rams.
Okay, so what's your Super Bowl updated prediction then?
It's obviously still the Bills, who are by far and above the best team in the league.
No, the fuck.
It's my prediction, not yours. This is Mike. You're gonna say who you want to say, and I'm not gonna.
Yeah, but I'm just not agreeing. You could say the Bills, but I'm just not agreeing that they're by far and away the best team in the league.
Well, dude,
Baltimore shit on them for 3 quarters and 2/3 of a quarter.
And then what happened?
Yeah, they collapsed, but they're in the same ballpark.
So who won? All right.
But there's no by far and away. It was a 1-point game.
The Bills can't, the Ravens can't beat the Bills. I'm going with the Bills. I said the Lions at first. Yeah, I'll just stick with it. Fuck it. No update.
I'm going with the Bills. I mean, fuck no. I'm going with the Ravens.
I know you know.
They have a huge game tonight, too, against the Lions.
The Ravens.
I'm going with the Ravens. Bro, the NFC's crazy. It's all over the fucking place.
Yeah.
49ers just lost Bosa for the year. They're fucking 3-0, but they're not a true contender anymore, I wouldn't say.
It's crazy they're still 3-0.
Green Bay. God damn, I don't want to say the Eagles. That's so boring. Fuck.
But I think they are the best. Like, I mean, I think the Ravens, or sorry, not the Ravens, the Lions, but going with the Eagles is not a bad pick.
Dude, I think it's week 10. Let me just double check. Mark your calendars. It is week 10, Monday, November 10th. Philly at Green Bay. That's gonna answer a lot of questions. Yeah, and the Eagles were looking kind of shit, but they woke up after that first half against the Rams.
They still should have lost that 2 block kicks.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
That's crazy.
I'm gonna say I don't know if I trust Puka and Stafford to stay healthy all year, so I'm gonna go with Green Bay and keep the love alive for the Packers. Ravens win it.
Bro, the Cleveland Browns are not an easy win. We've seen this. They're going to be annoying for all these teams that go to Cleveland or Cleveland comes to play them. They're going to be annoying to play against. All right, y'all, that's going to wrap up the post office for this week. Get your emails, voice notes, videos into the buntlive@gmail.com. Welcome back to The Rundown, the Skateboard World source for sports, brought to you by NFL Canada. And that's where we're kicking it off. I think every week from here on out, we starting with the Survivor picks, man. Last week, what happened to your Green Bay Packers, dude?
There was many epic collapses on Sunday, but that was definitely one of the worst. The Packers also couldn't score, but always felt like they were in control. It was 10-0. With I can't remember how much time left in the fourth, and then they fucking tie it up, and next thing you know, they block a fucking field goal and kick a field goal of their own. That shit bounced hella the other way, recovered it at midfield. Joe Flacco made a couple plays, and Quinshawn Judkins, a fantasy steal. I'm getting sidetracked. Do you have him in any league?
No,
our boy Simon scooped him up everywhere. Fucking bastard. You took Samson? Yeah.
The safer one.
I got him in our, still don't have a name for our league, but the league with all the skaters. I got him there with one of my last picks, which is nice. But, dude, that was just a collapse like I've never seen. But you can't have fucking players on your team saying you're going 17-0 after
that's
week
insane,
2.
dude. And they have it's not like they had like an insane year last year. They won 2 games this year, and everyone in like NFL media has been glazing them, and now it got to their head that fast, man. Like, what has Jordan Love really done that's so impressive? Like, y'all got a lot of work to do in a very competitive division.
I think it was a good humbling, and we'll see how they bounce back. I'm predicting with no CeeDee Lamb, they're gonna absolutely mopped the floor with the Cowboys, who we've already seen Dak look shaky, who also has been getting a lot of praise. Like, he didn't throw for a touchdown in week 1, and everyone's like, Dak Prescott's playing out of his mind. It's like, yo, chill. And then they barely beat the fucking Giants. Come on, man. And then they got waxed yesterday by the Bears. Like, so I think
by the
Green Bay
Bears,
gets back on.
We them boys.
Green Bay gets back on track next week. They slap the Cowboys, and that's that, man. But yeah, dude, shout out to the Browns for sticking in there.
The Browns.
I don't know.
That's a sneaky one, man. That is a trap game for sure. I went with Kansas City. They got it done. Was not pretty by any means. But yeah, week 1's over. I'm up. You're -1 now. Or how are we doing this?
I have
You're
1 and you have 0. It's like golf.
Golf scores. Heading into week 4 of the NFL season, it's time. I'm taking the Bills pick. I forget who they're playing, but I think it's going to be an absolute beatdown. It's Bills and Saints. I don't even know who's the quarterback over there in New Orleans, but it could be anyone.
Tyler Shuck? No, Spencer Rattler.
They're pulling someone off the street for week 4 and flying them to Buffalo. It's going to be a long week for them. Who you got?
In
you need
Buffalo
here,
too? Bro, just give me a score prediction on that.
That's tough because honestly, like these games, when they're supposed to blow them out, sometimes just doesn't happen. Like Tua was hanging around somehow in the Thursday night game.
But this is different, like...
This is as bad as it gets. They don't got anyone. I'll say like 37-6 we'll go with.
Damn,
31
I think they get 2 field goals. Actually, their defense
field goals
isn't that beast, but yeah.
And I feel like Olave might make a catch and Kamara could make a run or some
Shaheed, Jawan Johnson. They've got some C-class mans at skill positions. No, that's
they like the
money,
flapjacks of fantasy football.
Yeah, you can't use the Bills rest of season. I love it.
But yeah, this is a guaranteed. I need this.
Yeah, I'm gonna blow my budget early on the Chargers, who are looking hella dominant, and I think Coach Dayball, is that his name? He was non-committal when talking about who's starting at QB. So
it's Jackson Dart time.
Russell Wilson under attack, looking like ass again, or we're getting a rookie. So I'm pretty confident in the Chargers, who we're 3-0 and looking like the real deal right now.
Yeah, the Chargers, they look incredible, man.
Come on, Saints. Let me help me tie up.
You got to be kidding me if you think the Saints is going to get anything done. A couple people I need to touch on. CJ Stroud, man, from such an impressive rookie year to sophomore season, struggled a little bit. And now, what do you think of his play so far this year?
I know I've been a Stroud truther, and I still think that there is a beast in there. But man, like any offensive line rankings you looked at before the season, they were dead last. I looked at a couple. Dead last in every ranking I saw. And the man's fucking under attack, like pressured on fucking every damn drop back, it feels like. So it's tough, man. It's tough to judge when you hardly ever have a clean pocket. But we've seen him do it. They still, even though last year was a step back from his rookie season, they still made the playoffs. And did they win a game last year? Or maybe not last year, but they won one his rookie season. I still think he's a great player. They've got Nico Collins and basically nothing else. So it's like,
they need Joe
really
Mixon
expect
back
from him?
Yeah,
and he's probably going to not be 100% when he's back. Nick Chubb looks like he's done. They've got that other, I think, rookie Marks at running back, Dalton Schultz. But yeah, I kind of, it's one of those ones where their games come on and I just kind of feel bad, man. They've got a good defense and they're kind of wasting it because they keep not beefing up the O-line, man. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of what's around him that is the issue, but at some point he's had great teams. Last year the team was good. Joe Mixon had a career year last year. They made it work. Hopefully Joe Mixon comes back, because clearly Nick Chubb doesn't have much left in the tank for obvious reasons. Been through injury hell. But I believe in the talent of CJ Stroud. It was just another case of what's happening with the Green Bay Packers right now. So much praise so early. Maybe, went to his head a little bit. I don't know, but I think he has the talent to be a great quarterback. He was the Jaden Daniels of a couple years ago. Obviously Jaden accomplished a little bit more in the playoffs, but that's the feeling I have anyways. I hope he gets better.
Yeah. I just think I have Nico Collins in pretty much every league, so I'll be watching them like closely, and I actually don't think it's like, not to take, he has made some bad plays too, but I just think having no O-line, this is 2 years in a row, man. Last year they had one of the worst O-lines too. So I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. But one thing that I will say, it's not the same as Tua. I don't know if we were going to touch on that game later, but did you watch, I guess that was Thursday night. Oh, you had hockey. I don't know how much of that game you saw, but Tua just looks like he freaks out instantly. Like there was one play where he just ran out of a clean pocket. Man. Yeah. And I think that really fucks with quarterbacks' heads. Tua, it's different because he's got the concussion shit, but like it's just like you start making bad decisions and doing stuff too early because you're always expecting to get crushed. I think that really fucks with the QB's heads, and Stroud's probably going through that. Like he's trying to chill and he just keeps getting destroyed from like three dudes at the same time.
Yeah. No, you've got to be willing to sit in the pocket or else it just ain't going to work. There was one other game. Oh, and one of the most shocking scores, 30-0. You know this game?
Oh, yeah. And now I'm like questioning myself because last week you asked, was there anyone that you didn't get in fantasy that you're like, fuck, I wish I got a piece? And I'm pretty sure I said Drake London or Bijan. I was like, I didn't get any Falcons. And week one, dude, I think in our league, Bruce got Penix in the 5th round, and I was kind of jealous. I was like, fuck, like I was hoping to get him maybe a round or two later, and then he scooped him up. And I think he had 26 points week one in fantasy. I'm like, fuck, the Falcons are going to be fucking nice, win the division, or at least fight with the Buccaneers for division crown. And now it's like, yo, I think Drake London's had like 50 yards or so every game. No TDs.
No TDs.
They even Kirk Cousins made an appearance, man.
Yeah,
let's remember it's his 6th game as a pro.
They asked the coach if there's a chance Cousins will become the starter, and he said no chance. So clearly, they're not resorting to that. I mean, there's a lot of teams out there with quarterback injuries that I think Kirk Cousins would be great on. The Bengals.
For sure. Yo, Jameis or Kirk to the Bengals. Dude. Please.
God save the Bengals season.
Yeah, like I have Chase Brown in a league. You have Jamar Chase. Like it just ruins everyone. But Jake Browning has been good in the past. So the Vikings defense maybe a little more turned up than we thought. They're against Denver this week, so I would say sit your Bengals. But maybe the week after that, it opens up a little bit. But I'll actually be hyped if Jake Browning gets destroyed this week and they go get like Jameis or Captain Kirk somehow. That'd be fucking epic.
They need Jameis. It would be so entertaining with Jameis Winston. It would be beautiful. Just beautiful. I think we have 6 undefeated teams currently. The Niners, the Buccaneers, the Eagles, the Bills, the Chargers, and the Indianapolis Colts, making Daniel Jones look like a legitimate NFL quarterback. Next week, the Colts going up against the Rams. A true test for Daniel Jones. Is this a reality check? Or is it about time to, say it was the Giants and not Jones?
Well, that's the funny thing. I love all those fucking NFL memes. Instagrams that just like anything goes wrong, you're just getting destroyed by all those accounts. But the Giants been getting destroyed. Saquon Barkley leaves, career year, Super Bowl. Daniel Jones leaves a year later, 3-0, looking like a fucking top 5 QB. Obviously, I don't think that's sustainable, but I think the Rams handle business. And I'm not buying this new Daniel Jones shit, man. Like, I'm buying that he could be good. I just don't think, 3-0 and like they've punted for the first time, like midway through the game, like first time for the season. Like I don't think that's sustainable, but I'm buying them being a good team.
I think that's the
like
dominance
that Daniel
of
Jones is a star.
Jonathan Taylor, what we're seeing. Finally. They've always had a great team, well-rounded. Jonathan Taylor had, I think, some injuries last year that he battled through. Another, probably like a league-winning fantasy pick in Jonathan Taylor.
Bro, that's one I regret. He was
We're
on
talking
my do
like
not
a
draft list.
second-round pick. Potentially maybe third if people were, sleeping and lucky. And if he stays healthy and Daniel Jones remains competent, which I think he's capable of, that guy's going to win a lot of people a lot of money. And it's just a late pick, man. It's unreal.
I know, I'm pissed. I didn't get him anywhere. Had no interest. That team just scared me completely. Like the QB battle,
you just don't know what
camp. Yeah.
Had no idea what to expect.
Yeah.
Monday Nighter. Biggest game of the week. Aside from the Eagles and Rams, which did not disappoint. That one went down to the wire. Ravens and Lions. It's in Baltimore. Big test for the Ravens. They cannot go to 1-3. Are they? Yeah, they're 1-2 right now. 1-1.
No, 1-1.
They can't go
They're
to
both
1-2.
Yeah. I mean,
who's winning?
I think either team that loses this game will be fine long term, but I think Baltimore is going to win, and I just don't know what to expect from the Lions, who've been bipolar through 2 games. Like week 1 was like, you have Goff, I have Gibbs, and it was not looking pretty. No one basically did anything week 1 except for Tesla had that crazy touchdown.
We're talking about a brand new
time.
coaching staff.
Yeah. But then week 2, they reminded everyone like, yo, not so fast. We're still the Lions. And now they have like, a top 5 team to face again. So I think Baltimore wins this one. I'm hoping for an entertaining shootout and
I hope it's
fantasy
down to
points
the wire.
galore. Oh yeah, me too. In games like this, I feel bad for whoever is going to lose is going to get shit on by the media. But I think the Ravens got this. Lamar is about to remind man was good.
No, it's going the other way. The Lions are winning. But one team I want to talk about before we go, which is one of those teams like the Detroit Lions of a few years ago, where if you're a diehard fan of like your hometown team or you've just always cheered for one, this is a team that like they seem like America's sweetheart. Nobody's got a problem with you cheering for Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers just because it's such a good story, Baker turned it around. It was Cleveland. It wasn't Baker's fault. None of that other stuff. And now he's got potentially the rookie of the year, the new Mike Evans. How far can the Buccaneers go?
Well, I don't want to say it's fraudulent, but they're sitting at 3. They're sitting at 3-0, but there's some flaws with the team, and I do. You know what? I used to be a Baker hater. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I probably voiced that on the pod over the years, but even I've come around to being a fan since he went down to Tampa. Man, I just thought he was too cocky for how like kind of shit the Browns were. And he would just, his attitude would kind of annoy me. And he, like, the chip on his shoulder was almost too much. It'd be like, he's just like finding reasons to get offended. Yeah. But then he got humbled big time. And I love a comeback story. And I felt like this new version of Baker, it's like, yo, he came in as the number 1 pick, had this ego. They weren't that good, got bounced around the league, and now found the right home. Like, now I fuck with
crazy.
Baker. But yo, they
have a
won.
1-point win, a 2-point win, and a 3-point win, which is insane. They've won 3 games by a total of 6 points.
Yeah, I love it. And Agbuka's my guy. Watching his highlights, I mean, I get carried away drafting rookies. I'm pretty sure in our OG Bunt league, I think I took Teteroa, McMillan, and Agbuka back to back in rounds like 5 and 6. And you wrote in the chat, I think you lost your mind or something. And I was like, in that moment, I was like, damn, maybe I've been reading too many sleeper articles. I reached. But so far, looking like a couple young beasts, and Agbuka's been making some crazy highlight plays. And now Mike Evans with the hamstring, Chris Godwin coming back soon. And then the other homie, I forget their third receiver last year, who was a beast to end the year. He's still on IR. Anyways, yeah, it's like McMillan. It's not McMillan, but it's like some Tillman or something. I know who has him on our team.
Tillman's the Browns.
Yeah, no, I know. His name, I feel like it just sounds like that. McMillan. It is McMillan. Jalen McMillan. Yeah, so I remember when Agbuka got drafted there, everyone was like, oh, damn, he's such a good receiver, but it's already a crowded receiving room, and all of a sudden he's like the fucking
It's
only
not crowded
left.
when you're the best. Yeah.
But yeah, I hope they make the playoffs, man. They're a very entertaining team and super fantasy friendly, which we obviously love.
Yeah, so if we look at the NFC right now,
division, they'll be fine.
Yeah, they're going to cruise to the division win unless Atlanta gets their shit together, which it's possible. But like, you start 3-0, you're in a really good spot. In the division leaders right now are the Eagles, the Packers, the Bucks, and the Niners. The fraudulent Niners. We'll say the Rams. Out of the Rams, Packers, and Eagles, and Bucks, where do you rank the Bucks? How far can they beat one of those 4 teams in a playoff game?
Rams, Packers, and Eagles. Damn. See,
they beat the Eagles 2 years ago. They beat the Eagles 2 years ago.
Wild. Yeah.
When Jalen Hurts must have been hurt or something, because remember the look on his face on the bench, like he knew he was immobile or something. But this year, I gotta see who they play next, man. They need a big game. That's what the NFL. They need a prime time game is what we need out of the Buccaneers. Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sunday,
man.
September 28th, Eagles and Buccaneers. Next week, week 4.
Yeah.
Prayers are answered. It's a 1:00 game, but we'll take it.
Fucking epic. Bro, some of these games need to get flexed. Some of these primetime games, man. Cincy and Broncos, no one wants to see that. You crazy?
No,
Jets and Dolphins?
That's getting flexed to 4 a.m. Berlin time.
Jesus Christ.
Who are you taking next week, Eagles or Buccaneers?
Eagles. They've got no one to throw to right now. If Mike Evans is out next week, even if Chris Godwin's back, that fool... I doubt he's going to be playing full snaps. So
it's hard
I'll
to
go with the
against
Eagles.
The Eagles. They're a deep team. The Buccaneers schedule gets a little bit tougher moving forward, so it'll be interesting to see. They got Eagles, Seahawks, Buccaneers, Lions. So 4 tests for them right there.
If they go 2-4,
did any other
good.
sports stuff happen this week?
Nah, but Steelers, let's
NBA.
go, baby. Fuck the Patriots.
They
you
snuck
dig?
out a win.
I heard
they got
cousin
lucky.
Sal say this on Bill Simmons' pod. He said he has a new nickname for Drake May. It's Drake Maybe. Because we just don't know yet. Bill Simmons was so bummed. He's like, that's so good, but that's heartbreaking. But he's both of our fantasy QB, so Drake May keep putting up them points, but let's go Steeler Nation.
I know. Dude, Diggs is done.
Did you see he had another baby mama come out like the day after Cardi B announced?
He has
that
2
she's pregnant?
that just had a baby, and now he's got Cardi. Bro.
No, but after Cardi B announced it, like the next day, another girl said she was pregnant too.
Dude, what are his stats on the year? Has he done anything?
Apparently it was one of the girls on that boat. I saw a picture.
What do you mean?
When he had the pink substance?
With the pink stuff.
What do you mean that's not obvious? Cardi B was on that boat too.
Oh,
fucking
man.
crazy
So
bastard.
57 yards, 32 yards, 23 yards, trending downwards.
I don't know if he's
what
done,
happens, man.
We'll see. Back half of the season, get his legs right. I still think he could be a decent fantasy receiver / real life.
All right. Only time will tell. All right, y'all. That's going to wrap up this week's episode of The Bunt. Y'all know where to find us next week. Safa down 0-2 in the survivor pool. That's where. Welcome back to The Rundown, the Skateboard World source for sports, brought to you by the NFL Canada. And speaking of the NFL...
Sorry. There's no "the" before.